What's up, guys? It's Friday. It's another Spags solo stream here for Splash Play. And today, I'm going to reveal the reasons why I don't believe you should be drafting running backs early up top, especially at this point of best ball season. I'm going to make the case. I'm going to walk through the RotoViz roster construction explorer. I'm going to have some drinks along the way as well. And then we're going to draft a few teams over on Underdog. So let's get right to it and hit that intro. Hello, everyone, and welcome to this another solo edition here, Spags edition of Splash Play. I am Chris Spags. Of course, you can follow me on Twitter at Chris Spags. Of course, make sure to follow this show as well at Splash Play Pod, so you'll never whenever we're going to go live. I'm also a little flustered right now, coming off of baby duty, trying to make a drink for myself for the show, but the drink is here. We're going to talk some Zero RB, so it's time to celebrate with a little tequila. My slurping is the ASMR for this one, but I'm excited today because you guys might have seen, and actually what I should do is pull this up first before we even dig into what I'm kind of going to go off on today with the Zero RB strategy. Obviously, if you're not familiar with what Zero RB is, it doesn't mean that we're not drafting any running backs at all. Despite what that great thumbnail behind me might say, I do occasionally draft a running back. In fact, you do have to draft from my roster constructions that I like 5 to 6 running backs, sometimes even 7. I'm willing to go when I'm getting pretty thin at the position. But overall, the main thing to me is that I think people really overvalue running backs. I think overall, and this is something that I've been keyed into more from my own personal experience, as well as really seeing the pushback from some people out there. And I'm going to pull up this tweet that I put up last night of myself drafting a team right before bed. And hold on, let's see. Where is this tweet? Because, I'm posting a lot of tweets today. I'm going to post more lineups just because, A, it's clearly engagement farming to do that. But B, people really seem to want to yell at me about the teams I'm doing, whether they be former coworkers like my pal Adam Scher over at what is now Stochastic, what was Osmo when I was working there. But you can see here's my little tweet. Boom, boom, boom. And there's nothing, of course, I love pulling up more than my own lowly engaged Twitter. But I want you guys to see the team that I posted. I want you to see the tweet. And this was just, obviously a little snarky tweet here. Nothing helps me sleep better at night than disrespecting running back ADPs right before bed. This was a draft as well that I think is going to be a little bit harder to see. Let me just pull up the regular version on this part. As I click it again, you can see like this is a team that certainly I would say going a little bit late at running back by any conventional standard you would go to. Even for me, normally I'm trying to start to force myself to draft a running back in the 6th or 7th round, even though I love continuing to spam receivers, especially in rooms like this draft last night, which had guys drafting 5 running backs in the first 6 rounds, 5 running backs in the first 10 rounds. So in that kind of room, to me, I'm willing to get weird with it and just try to penalize them for what they're doing. And I didn't realize that so many people would be so tilted by just seeing a lineup like this, but my running back crew of Alex Madison, and I keep clicking the thing, Naheem Hines, Darrell Henderson, Gus Edwards, Jarrett McKinnon, Zamir White, certainly not a world-beating crew. I think also a team that you could point to and say, like, this team needs some stuff that's like, the Simpsons softball team of where Mr. Burns recruits a bunch of famous MLB players to have them as ringers on his softball team. They all have some sort of malady that befalls them. That's what happens maybe perhaps to all the running backs that are the lead backs in front of these guys, Dalvin Cook, Jonathan Taylor, certainly the same for Cam Akers or whoever comes out of that Rams backfield. Baltimore right now, it's Mike Davis, who's a starter in the offseason training camps or pre-training camps, the OTAs they're doing. Jarrett McKinnon, I think more of a pathway there. Samir White, probably just takes another DUI for Josh Jacobs, or maybe new head coach Josh McDaniels doesn't like him. But it still takes some asking here for these things to happen. But I'm willing to kind of play the chaos, and I think that's something that people aren't comfortable with. I talked about my Jenga analogy for how I like to play best ball drafts, and that's what I'm willing to do here is embrace the chaos, hope that everybody else, something goes wrong over this next month and a half. And I think that's something that I'm, perfectly happy to do. But you can see some of the reactions here, and I'll scroll down. You can see my wide receiver group, and honestly, it should be better at receiver. I think given what I did make here, I think that's the one critique that I felt people had that was valid. But we got Stephon Diggs, Deebo Samuel, Cortland Sutton, Darnell Mooney, Alan Lazard, Marquez Valdez-Scantling, Tim Patrick, AJ Green is my receiver group, and then a tight end, Kyle Pitts and Zach Ertz. Obviously, both guys stacking up, or Ertz stacking up, completing that Arizona stack for me with Kyler Murray. The receivers should be better. I'll admit that, but I would think that overall, like this is my 100th draft on Underdog. So I'm just willing to take guys that I don't always get. Guys like Diggs and Samuel, I certainly get a lot of. Sutton as well. But Alan Lazard, I never get at his ADP. Tim Patrick, I very rarely get. AJ Green, I very rarely get. So in 100 drafts out of 150, I'm willing to take some guys that are different. But ultimately, it's about this construction and what it offers up, where I got a double sack with Russell Wilson. And I think two guys that could benefit from Russell Wilson being freed and able to throw the deep ball a little more, and Cortland Sutton and Tim Patrick. Marquez Valdes-Scantling, who I think is a great week 17 correlation for those guys, and my Russell Wilson Denver stack. That's something that appeals to me. And then you also have Jerick McKinnon for that week 17 correlation. So I got a lot of the stuff that I like here, and that's where I really care the most about. Is I got Minnesota, of course, Madison up here, week 17 correlation going with Alan Lazard at receiver. That did inform that a little bit more for me. Some of them not correlated, like Mooney, I just took on his own because I think, a 27% target share, or at least over 25% in his second year. Like, I think that's something noteworthy, even though the Bears, you could certainly critique what they've done. One thing you could say they didn't do is improve on offense. So I think if Justin Fields is just slightly better, Mooney could be better too. So these are bets I'm willing to make. And I think that's something that people were really tilted by, as you could see in some of the replies here. Of course, Heather Blitz, I think in the YouTube chat, usually say this might be one of my better drafts. I will star that every time. This guy tweeting about weed. This guy, post stoner degen, loves weed. Shocker with anybody with the name stoner or the word stoner in there. And here's one point from Sam that was pretty sharp. And Sam, I know, does some of the work in the industry as well. Does a good amount of data research. I get the idea, but have a hard time seeing how drafting 7 wide receivers before your first running back is optimal when you only play 4 of them. Seems like you'll need absurd chaos at running back for this to pay off. My guy Demi chiming in here saying that absurd chaos for this to pay off. Yeah, that's kind of the point, especially at running back where guys do get hurt. Coaches gravitate towards things. Guys fall out of favor. Guys get DUIs. Like, that's the Josh Jacobs analogy. I don't mean to keep beating up on him. Guys show up out of shape to camp, and then that ends up being something that knocks him back. I'm willing to embrace that at this point in the drafting season. In August, when we know who's starting, then take an anchor running back, maybe even do a hyper fragile build and feel better about it. For right now, though, the main benefit you get is trying to get the Rashad Pennies at, Rashad Penny from last year, a guy who helped people win in Best Ball Mania tournaments and a lot of the big tournaments as well for week 16, week 17. Like, that's a guy that last year nobody was drafting. And I think that's where I'm willing to go this year, is just make my entire strategy about drafting the guys that people find less appealing. And also, like, guys when they're a little bit cheaper. Like, I got a lot of Travis Etienne in the 5th round, the 6th round, got a lot of Breece Hall in the 5th round, the 6th round. Now those guys are going sometimes the 3rd. And I think that's something too, where if you're taking these guys early and you're willing to take flyers on a Zamir White, again, poor Josh Jacobs tunes into the stream and he's like, I just want to have some fun watching best ball on a Friday. I didn't get to travel for the weekend. I want to just watch the guys over at Splash Play. Really want to support Spags. He's just getting beaten up here. But if Josh Jacobs doesn't start, Zamir White's probably a 7th round pick, an 8th round pick with the rookie capabilities of how those guys get steamed up. Maybe even goes higher than Josh Jacobs would. That's noteworthy to me. So I think if you're drafting right now, like I am, if you're putting 100 entries in Best Ball Mania, a $25 entry tournament where there's $10 million in prizes overall, $2 million up top, sign up using the promo code SPLASH if you want to get double your deposit up to $100. So I'll mix in the promo there. The point, though, is that right now, your advantage, if you're going to hammer drafts now, is playing the variability game, playing the things that could happen in training camp, playing, unfortunately, the injury bugs that could happen as well. So I'm going to do that. I think it's easiest to do that with running backs. And we can talk about some of the strategy here as I pull up the RotoViz screen. And I'm actually going to look into the chat real briefly here. Let's see. Let me go back to the solo cam. My guy Owen saying fresh faded man bun Spags. Yes, I'm bringing my A game to talk shit about running backs. If I see a running back in the middle of the going on the same block as me, you know what I'm doing? I'm crossing at the other side of the street. I don't want to see a running back, or else there could be a problem. Those receivers maybe, oh, here we go. Ross saying those receivers may be better than you think. I think that's the overall point of all of this. I think that's the part that people don't get. And I also think it's part of the redraft kind of psychology where a lot of us started playing season long. A lot of us were playing in high school leagues, friends leagues, whatever, work leagues. And you're in those leagues, take running backs, take Jonathan Taylor at the 101. You should be doing that against a sharp field where it's a longer term competition, where you're not working waivers, where you're trying to play the upside and you're trying to win millions of dollars. I think that's when you are willing to go, yeah, fuck that. I'm going to use people's obsession with running backs against them, especially when the NFL, everything contract-wise, offseason-wise, what we've seen in the last few years, running backs are not that important to how NFL teams are approaching things, even with that, classic establish the run kind of boomer mindset. Of course, not the website, the actual trope of running the ball over and over again for success. So that to me is an important part too, is that if everybody else is going to be obsessed with running backs and they're not going to read the tea leaves about Cooper Kupp being so highly paid, a lot of guys getting tens of millions of dollars, not making NBA money, but making more than enough. That matters to me. Wide receivers, I think, are going to gain a lot of steam overall, just in terms of how they're using the NFL. And teams will see that Bengals success, they'll see that Chiefs success, they'll see that the Bills success. It all comes down to wide receiver play. So That's my thesis. And now is where hopefully it'll get interesting. Bolik asking, what are we drinking today? So Alex was busy with the baby, busy with work. So I had to whip this up myself. I am drinking a shaken orange juice with blood orange soda and then tequila, a copious amount of tequila. Shaken up, of course, because you only got, when you're winging beverages here, when your partner who makes really good drinks is available to do it, just mix it all up, put it in a shaker, put some ice in there, and then you're basically doing Tom Cruise cocktail. All right, so let's pull up the the RotoViz Fanball Explorer. And basically, if you're not familiar with Fanball, that's completely fine. Like, it's not a site that I'm personally playing on, but it is a site that's been doing best ball for longer than any other site out there that includes Underdog. There's a lot of data to go along with it, which is the important part to me. And again, I gave a lot of shout outs to my guy Dricko over at RotoViz, who of course pulled down 100K in FFPC. He's the one who was showing me some of his articles and how really a lot of the RotoViz articles that I think are worth reading. If you're trying to wrap your head around this best ball thing, like they're all using these explorers. They're using the Fanball Explorer. They also do have an Underdog Explorer on RotoViz, and I think it's worth checking out, playing around with, especially if you are just confused by how this goes. So we're going to see here no filters. The two big differences between Fanball and an Underdog is that they are defenses being drafted, but ultimately it's 20-round draft. So you got to assume people are drafting two defenses. So it's still ultimately an 18-round kind of data point. So that's something that doesn't scare me off about using that and feeling comfortable with it. As I briefly hack up a lung, just because, look, marijuana comes with a price, guys. It comes with a lot of fun, but comes with a price on your lungs. So here you can see the running back count. So this is standard. So this is with no modifiers at all, without me saying, hey, taking a QB in the first 6 rounds, without me saying, don't take a running back the first 5 rounds. This is what the core win rates are. So with 5 running backs, teams are winning 2.2% of the time, or rather, having top 2 percentile outcomes. So ultimately, that's a team, this top 2 percentile column that you're going to see here on RotoViz's roster construction explorer. That's telling you that these teams are finishing amongst the top 2% of everybody who's playing on Fanball within this last period. I think since 2015 is the data in here, and we can even get weirder with it and not setting limitations. Because, look, you want bigger sample sizes, but ultimately, people are operating off of not the most sample size anyway. So I think you can get weird with it. And you can see here so here are the teams that drafted 14 running backs. That didn't go so well. 13 running backs didn't go so well. Point is, you could see it really start to fall off. So we're going to say the core win rate is going to be 2.2% if you don't do anything else. So Dave, yeah, vaping still takes a toll when you're an asthmatic. So that's the other part of it. So I'm going to put in one filter here that I think is, let's start, let's do the hot button one, running back. So you don't take a running back, or actually let's start with you do take a running back before the 5th round. So how does that change your win rate here? So assuming that you're taking 5 running backs, your win rate stayed flat, 2.2%. And everybody out there is taking a running back for the most part in those first 5 rounds. So that to me tells me that I don't have a real advantage here, but let's see what happens if we flip it the other way. So we're now saying we're taking our RB1 after the 5th round. So you take 7 running backs, your win rate's up to 2.7%. You take 6 running backs, you're getting a little bit better of an increase there, 2.3%. But we're still up from 2.2%. And that's the thing that stands out to me, is that this is now 5,000 entries over the course of 6 years. So not the biggest sample size. Obviously, it'd be great if we had hundreds of thousands. But if we had hundreds of thousands of entries that were doing this, there would be an advantage to doing it. So that to me is a really big part of it. Here, Paul is saying, am I wrong to think that Fanball data is not that relevant to Underdog? Those teams are drafted to win 12-team leagues and not a huge tournament. I think it still fits the core philosophy, and people may disagree. There's a lot of similar principles for the Underdog Explorer for just last year's data on RotoViz, and we can walk through that briefly. I don't want to take up too much time here because I know people just want to get into the drafts. Obviously, that's going to be the fun part. But I think this is a thing to me that where we have 6 years of data from this Fanball data, people who have played well, people who have had percentile outcomes. Maybe they're not drafting purely for ceiling, maybe they're not doing stuff like Alex, I know, mentioned, of course, Osmo from Stochastic now, which is hard to say for me as somebody who worked there. But I was listening to the Lulz interview because I didn't get to watch all of it with Brick and Pete, talking to Alex about his strategy and why he's talking about 3 QBs being important, why he's talking about trying to target week 16 and week 17. And ultimately, these guys are going to have different approaches overall. But I think looking at the sample size we have of 6 years of data or 7 years of data and just saying, this is going to be hopefully more right than 1 year of data or extrapolating based off of Sims, it's a bet that I'm willing to make for myself, but I certainly get why people would feel differently. So I'm also going to put in a couple other qualifiers that I like to do just in general. For QBs, I'm trying to say QBs equal 2 is something that I always try to do. I don't want to take 3 QBs for the most part. And we can see down here how that affects the win rate. Stays pretty much flat, from where we just were. So a lot of people, I guess, in that particular construction were taking two QBs anyway. But I just want to make sure that we're paring down even more based on stuff that I'm always doing in every draft. And then tight ends, I also like to take two. And then you'll see how that affects the win rate. So that could go down a little. No, actually goes up. So 2.8% now win rate. Of course, the sample size getting smaller, so this is a little bit hairier to go off of. But same thing here for a 7 running back build, 2.8% win rate. It's still bigger than 2.2%. So we're now bigger than the base rates. Sample size stuff, I know the data nerds out there are going to argue on, but I feel like it's a sign enough there where it's not egregious. It's not like it's 5%. It's not like something that crazy. And we're going to get there with some of these other ones. So another thing that I always try to do, take a tight end in the first 5 rounds. I've talked about it a lot. Pete sometimes doesn't seem to prioritize it as much, and I'll go differently, usually when we're doing the splash play drafts. But I want to take my tight end one, ideally in the first 6 rounds. So let's say before 6, I want my first tight end off the board. And now that win rate's up to 3.3%. Sample size shrinks even more, but you see the win rate getting better. And look, I know that I fear the data nerds because I know there are people who are going to dig their heels in. I feel like, player takes part of best ball is certainly one that people love to argue about, but I think the data part people like to argue about as much. These to me are like interesting points of this stuff that I just feel like really resonated with me reading some of the RotoViz articles, things that I could then apply and then just kind of always make sure to hit as check marks. And I think there's even more that you could look at that I'm doing. But I think we made the case of the 0 RB part. So if you watched for that, if you watched just for the thumbnail, that's why you don't draft a running back in the first 5 rounds, because everybody's doing it. They're winning less, and you're also giving yourself an advantage, I think, especially drafting at this point of year where guys are going to get hurt. Weird guys are going to bubble up. Coaches are going to do strange things and give guys timeshares that probably shouldn't be a timeshare. Like, what if A.J. Dillon gets 50% of the load and he's going, 4 rounds behind Aaron Jones? That matters to me. So that's stuff that I'm drafting for. And we could talk, you could debate it. I certainly am not going to begrudge anybody having different takes, but I am going to defend the wall of what I'm saying. Here's one more thing that I always like to do, getting my QB one, not taking one of the premium ones. But let's do it after 4. I think after 5 is even more premium generally, but I do take Kyler sometimes in the 5th, do take Lamar Jackson sometimes in the 5th. Win rate up again. If you take 6 running backs, we have a 3.6% win rate, or 3.6% top 2 percentile that you can extrapolate could lead to wins in Best Ball Mania. 3.4% if you take 7 running backs. If you take 9 running backs, like 16 people have over the last few years, a 6.2% top 2 percentile. That seems unlikely. That's very small sample size ball. That's why there's a minimum amount here that they try to put in a 50, but I just want to show you guys, like, I'm willing to throw that out, but I still think conceptually it does fit. And then here, let's do one more weird thing. Actually, let's go to 5 here. QB after round 5. Yeah, there you go. Up to 3.6%, up to 3.6%. And then for this guy who drafts 9 running backs, the 13 people who drafted 9 running backs, a 7.7% top 2 percentile. I wouldn't read into that, but I do think it says something. It's just, you probably shouldn't take it to that extreme. Now let's look at one other thing. So RB1. So here's something else that nobody has done on FanBall a lot. And this is why it's uncomfortable. And it's why too, to me, like, okay, you take your running back after round 6. The win rate here is still 3.1%. So there is a real advantage to trying to take your running back in round 6. Then if you go to, let's say what I did yesterday, where I didn't take a running back till after round 11, there have been 4 people in the history of best ball who have taken their running back. I don't think it's right, but I do think that at this point, 100 lineups in the Best Ball Mania, 100 and change in the puppy, doing drafts in July, having drafted from May, June, July, and drafted based upon the best information possible, I think, out there between both, Pete and my network of people, of course, the Spike Week guys, Ship Chasing guys, RotoViz guys, all the people that we cite here as being people that are worth listening to. The ETR guys, Mike Leone, of course, who was on Randomizer yesterday. Great as well. Football Outsiders, I thought really helped me wrap my head around the draft in a way that I was really comfortable with and made me feel like I was coming into this best ball drafting period prepared. I think that's when you can get weird with it. So that's my take on it. I'm going to go through the chat now because I've been ranting here, but I care about this because I think it's important. I think it's interesting. And I think ultimately I'm going to clear all the filters. If you guys have requests for me to look at, obviously pay for RotoViz, or get Pete's login like I do, but do that. Pay for RotoViz first. But if you want me to look at something here, I'll do it here just to close the argument. And then we can go to Best Ball Mania. Josh saying, what's the advance rate for taking only running backs? We can't do that, but we can say if you take a running back, you take your RB1 selected in the first round. All right. So we're going a traditional, high profile, high draft capital running back. look, what happens to the win rates? Like, it just doesn't matter. You could take a hyper fragile build of 3, like 675 people did. You have the average win rate that we had anyway. You could take 4, you have an even lower win rate that feels like an aberration, but it could be something logical there. You have a 2.3% win rate for 5 running backs. If you take that running back in the first round, what if you take a running back, your RB1 in the second round? Does it get better? Let's look at that then. Like, I'll dig down this hole because I just think everything to me makes the case that it is wrong to do this. 2.2% win rate, 2.2% win rate. We gain nothing taking an RB1 in the second round. What about the third round? 2%. So it's getting worse now. So if you're building around running back and still prioritizing them, but then not prioritizing them enough, you're seeing what running backs are doing. Like, it's just not great. And again, you could poke holes in what fanball means for underdog. You poke holes about what the past means. Like also mentioned on that Lulz interview, he was talking about, like, when you like looking at DFS slates and assuming that's going to be the case forever. It's not. But I still think that people are trying to outthink this more than they should. You take your RB1 in round 4. Look how bad it's getting. 1.4%, 1.5%. So we're now at a point where it's diminishing returns if you don't take the guy in round 1, but it's also not great if you take RB1 in round 1. Hold on. I'm trying to scroll down and I got to get an actual optical mouse for here. That'll be my next thing. All of them, again, lower win rates here for taking your RB1 in round 5. What if we get to round 6 though? My gut is that this is going to be a fun change of process. Look at it. It fucking went up everywhere. That's the point. This is what I'm preaching. This is what I'll continue to preach now. This is what I'm going to make a Twitter bit like Pete, where I'll just lean into it and go like, I don't fucking draft running backs. I don't believe in drafting running backs. RB1 in round 6. We're now talking about you've passed up 5 rounds of running backs, 2.5% win rate with 6 running backs in total, 2.6% win rate with 7 running backs, 2.7% win rate with 8 running backs. Only 220 people did it. So low utilization and also a really high win rate. And also you're fucking with people on Twitter. That to me feels like a win. So that is my soliloquy for the week. I think there's some chats I want to put on the screen. Here we go. Spags soliloquy is the new moment. Look, I'm going for rants. That's what I'm going for. This is some elite Excel programming. Yeah, look, I learned how to use websites. Dobby, I'm advancing bit by bit. 7.7% of 13 is 1. So it really was just that one guy who was top 2%. That's why I'm glad you're here, Bull. Like our local child data scientist, the Doogie Howser of data science, making the case for me. But yeah, no, like I think you throw that one out. But look at everything else I just showed you guys. Like I think that's the main thing to me. And that's why I will beat this point to the death, I guess, as long as I can. And I'll be drafting like that. I'll be drafting the same way I did on Twitter on Underdog. I'll be drafting that way on DraftKings, and I'll post some screenshots, and you can see people get really fucking mad at me. Even people who I think are really sharp, like Shit My Money over at Osmo, like Eric Lindquist over at Osmo, 2 of my pals from there who I very much love. And even if I came off a little angry at them, I think some of the tweets because I was replying waking up at 4:30 in the morning to feed Luca, or 4 in the morning to feed Luca. But like the main thing to me is that like there are sharp game theory people who still think they can nail player takes. And I just don't get it. I don't get why people have this ego with season-long fantasy football, with best ball, which is just season-long fantasy football. Like you can fucking draft teams and you can do them however you please. It's your money. Spend it how you want. I'm just telling you what I saw that I felt like was like an awakening to see. So I'm going to share my screen here. We are going to hop at a Best Ball Mania 3. If you appreciate this rant, if you appreciate me willing to go out on a limb and try to show my work for it, please subscribe to the channel. Of course, these Spags solo streams go off every Friday at 2:30. There's a possibility down the home stretch of this drafting season, I think in August in particular, that I might go on for some different periods, go on for longer. But please subscribe to the channel, help me out. And of course, follow me at Chris Spags, follow at Splash Play Pod, and throw at Peter Overzet a follow too, even though he certainly doesn't need it. I'm going to hop into the draft now. Countdown begins. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. If you want to draft along with me, use that promo code SPLASH. Double your deposit up to $100. Room filling before our eyes. So hopefully this will be a fast one. Hopefully I don't burp my tequila up. And let's go. Let's string to it. 0 RBs. Willis raising an interesting question here. Spags, aren't you technically having player takes by going strictly 0 RB? I think that's more of a structural thing. I think it is also a game theory play, but I think I'm willing to get, like, I still have player takes within the margins of that, but I try to take guys in different spots. Like if the ADP makes sense, if the construction makes sense. Like I mentioned, I have a ton of the Raiders Niners week 17 game. I love both stacks in general as well. I love parts of the Cincinnati Buffalo game. I probably have as many stacks of them as anybody else out there, but I try to get different with it. Same thing with Chargers Rams, same thing with Denver KC. Like I love all the week 17 correlations, but that's really what I'm playing. I'm playing structure, correlation, and stacks. And and willing to get weird with it. But like, do I have some blind spots? I'm sure I do. Like, I don't think I'm taking a ton of, like, I'm probably not taking enough Jameis Winston, like, as an example, probably not taking enough Tom Brady, even though I do have some. I'm trying to think of a noteworthy, probably not enough Justin Fields if he does somehow make the leap, but like, I like Mooney individually. So I don't know. Like, that's just what I'm doing. Did a puppy come out already? I saw they sent the partner email. I didn't know the puppy was out. But if there is a puppy draft that I can hit, I'll check the lobby. Or you guys will tell me. If there's a puppy draft, I'll do the puppy next. So hang on for that. GA stating you're fading like the top 20 running backs. Look, I have some. Like, I think if there are builds that make sense, there are rooms where it's made sense to do that. For me, though, like, I am mostly fading them. Yeah. Like, I'm comfortable with it. I'm willing to play this hand. I just believe enough in the advance rates and the win rate data and the top 2 percentile data that I think it appeals to me enough to get there. We are in a spot here where we're going to test my legs, I guess, on do I want to keep drafting wide receivers? And yes, I do. I want to draft Stephon Diggs and his 4-year contract extension right before your eyes. We'll put the draft board too. Puppy 2 is out like Pete's nips. Puppy 2 is out like everybody's nips. I'll do the Puppy 2 right after this one. I saw the email yesterday, but they didn't say specifically when it was coming. So, yeah, my bad, but I'll do that. I'll do that one next. It's right there. FF Doom, you don't know what it's like to rant on a stream to people. Like, you're really, you got to get locked in the zone. And also, again, like the brain frazzle, like I've had to wake up overnight now, every night, but the last one within the last 2 weeks. So my brain functionality, like I very much get the parenting brain, even though I probably in the past somebody was like, yeah, oh, it's so hard. Didn't realize you just got to wake up in the middle of the night. Fuck it. It ends up being a lot like hostage torture. So my apologies for any brain farts that come, but some are going to come. Bullock, I'm going to just capture this one here. And I love when Pete's nips are out, is what Bullock says. Pete, I hope somewhere you hear this. I hope somewhere you know. Even if Pete's not watching the stream, which you got to assume he's not. Like, you got to assume at this point. He gave it a chance. I got spooked during the one stream he watched. He knows now not to come in here. Maybe he'll watch it after the fact. But I hope you know that wherever you are, Pete, that Bullock loves when your nips are out. And maybe the missus, too. Maybe his imaginary girlfriend in Canada also believes that as well. Zero RB brain. FF Doom says maybe. Like, I'm fully red pilled, man. Like last year when Pete said it, I was like, I have some skepticism about it. I'm even watching ship chasing in the past. Like I was like, all right, like I get what they're doing here. I still like I now fully have bought in, and I'm going like full radical mode with it, where I'm like screaming, running into the building, zero RB, like lighting torches, lighting everything on fire if I can. And if there's a running back in the way, I'm gonna kick him right in his fucking dick. I'm gonna go, hey, you get out of the way, Aaron Jones. It's time for AJ Dillon. Step on up, AJ Dillon. Oh, Travis Etienne, I'm kicking you in the dick now too, because you're fucking going too high. Used to be cool. You're not cool anymore, Travis Etienne. Now my girlfriend is in Canada, and I say, yeah, she's all over the place. I get all the data. Your basic decision on it's good. It's only 2 years of data. It's actually 6 years of data for the Fanball one. For the underdog ones, there's less. So keep that in mind. All right, we got Diggs. T. Higgins is already off the board, so that one's gone. I feel like Diggs and Andrews isn't one I have a ton of, so let's go that direction and just see where it takes us. But as long as we're not drafting a running back, I'm perfectly at peace. I got my elite tight end within the first 5 rounds. So now that's covered off. I have too much, probably Darren Waller, too much Kyle Pitts, too much George Kittle. So getting a little more Andrews makes sense for that. Can we clip Spags streaming for zero RB? That needs to be on all the shows. I hope somebody does clip it. I'm tired of making the clips for this show myself. So please, if you want to clip anything, you might even get on the Splash Play Pod handle. What a treat. Nearly 1,000 followers on there could see your hard work. Josh asking to do the card drafts for my coward. No, I didn't do them because they were like, oh, you have to be on a machine that's tracking it, and we don't have one here, and I'm not going to go to a gym. We have a Peloton, but I'm over the Peloton. That was a pandemic thing for me that I quickly grew weary of and felt my taint, the pain in my taint riding the Peloton on the regular was not my jam. So once I was told I couldn't play basketball to do the cardio club, I was out. But if they want, again, like the Scott Fishbowl, if they want to personally reach out to me, if Pete or Rudman or whoever wants to go, hey Spags, Mackins, over like any of the underdog guys, if you want to reach out to me and go, basketball now counts, maybe for NBA best ball, I'll do some NBA best ball cardio club. I'll do lives of me shooting jumpers in my driveway. I don't and do a best ball draft. Like I'll happily do that. I need something to speak to me. I'm not going to I'm not bending the knee for nobody. If I don't bend the knee for running back, for big running back, I'm not bending the knee for fucking the cardio club. I'm not bending the knee to do cardio, to do more work. Fuck that. I'll lift sporadically like I've been doing the last few weeks. Dobby saying there needs to be an underdog barbecue club. I agree. As somebody currently smoking ribs, and I turned the temperature down so I didn't have to leave that for Alex in case I go a little bit long on the stream, which seems like a decent possibility right now. Oh, Bolik, you sweet child. You don't know. If you want to go dig into my Instagram, you can see me knocking down jumpers on a Barstool stream that actually inspired them to do more in streaming because we had 50,000 people watch a one-on-one game against a morbidly obese, homophobic former video producer there who I stomped in one-on-one, 22 to 5, 22 to 7, something like that. All right, we're back on the clock here. We got some nice little running backs there, some tasty little snacks, tasty treats here. I'm going to go to the younger guy, Michael Pittman, because honestly, I think if there are any old guys you can make at wide receiver, the case to start to move away from a little bit. I love Devontae Adams. I think he's in a good spot. I think him being reunited with Derek Carr, they can talk about their college times. We all love like waxing nostalgic or poetic about high school times, college times, all that. That seems like fun for them. So like maybe Devontae Adams won't be it, but Devontae Adams 29, Keenan Allen 30. Like these are where there starts to be diminishing returns potentially for receivers. So target upside, I think, and take the younger guy, and that's Michael Pittman. Does that go on my CV, Spags? No, Barstool's still on my resume and stuff. Like it's an important part of my career. It's just like, it's one of those things that I'm certainly not as proud of. Like especially the way that I was like presented. Like I don't think I was a worse person for sure because I was younger, and like I think we're all probably hopefully you evolve and become a better person and learn priorities and all that. But like I certainly like I'm proud of what I did there. Whether they are fully appreciative of what I provided my services with, then so be it. So be it. As the great Corbin Welsh would say, so be it. So be it. Andrew asking, what am I wearing in that video? I am wearing rainbow socks because this guy called me an F-bomb when we were at a company drinking event. And he was also being a piece of shit all night where was a married dad of 2. And now is somebody who is, a dad and married legally, or I guess, the paperwork's been filed. I don't know what that means. Like that's something to me that, he was talking the entire night about like, oh, I'm going to fucking get drunk and leave my family. And it's like, okay, this is like gross to me as somebody that like had a dad that wasn't the best. So that combined with calling me an F-bomb and like, that's like internet comments or shit. You're not somebody who's a director level person at a major company trying to relive their frat days. So that's why I wore gay pride socks. That's why I wore an El Los Ingobernables shirt, which is a New Japan Pro Wrestling thing that nobody who's watching this stream is going to know, but maybe somebody watching after the fact will. So I did my thing and I crushed him in basketball. And ultimately I will crush a lot of people one-on-one. I played against a former MLB pitcher to like get ready for that. This guy I used to work with at one of my old jobs. And he like lived in the neighborhood, was like, yeah, I'll come by and play some one-on-one with you. And he was like fucking tough. He was like 6'4" and like an former, minor league pitcher shape. And he worked me. And then so going into that game, I was ready to go. Consigliere saying my life is so hard, got to turn that into smoker so the partner doesn't have to make Q while caring for the baby while you draft BBMs and talk about your taint. All right, when you put it like that, Consigliere, that's not the kind of Consigliere advice I'd want from my Tom Hagen personally. All right, I don't love the way. I mean, look, I like Breece Hall here, but I can't do it after I just went on this rant, right? Or would I show my maturity? Yeah, no, you know what? We saw the fucking win rates. No, you know what? We saw the win rates. It's going to be time for Jerry Jeudy. Yes, got it in. Thank God. Jerry Jeudy it is. Spags is Tranquilo. Thank you, Kevin. I love the guy showing the knowledge. Look, I don't think you can do the eye thing, but Tranquilo used to be on my bio on Twitter for a while. Like, I think that's the vibe. Like Naito, when he was first doing that bit where he would take 5 minutes to come out to the ring and just soak it all in, and the people didn't know what to do with it. Like that to me is the ultimate as somebody, who's worked in content now for like over a decade and all that. Like that's the apex to me of what content could be, is like where you just do something that people don't fucking know what to do with. Like that's like the art form of it to me that I enjoy. Like making money is nice, but the art of it, I'm an art boy. I'm a content art boy. All right. We can see here. I love Breece Hall. It's sad to see him go here, but going to a guy draft and just spam running backs like, take all the. I'm a greedy pig. I need running backs. I can't exist without running backs. That's the obesity problem in America right there. Stocking up on running backs, snacking away the fucking day. Oh yeah, you need Saquon Barkley, Nick Chubb, and Breece Hall when you don't even have a tight end. Oh, because you got Cooper Kupp. You think it's a luxury? What if Cooper Kupp goes down, man? What if Allen Robinson bubbles up then? What if Odell Beckham comes back to the team? You're fucked with your one receiver, dude. Hope you're happy, you pig. Rant. Rant. Go off, King, is what I say to myself in the mirror. Brand drafting over good drafting. Look, I think this is a good draft too. The data proved it. Did I not make my case here? It's an amazing hyper fragile. Fuck off. It sets a lot of resentment for running backs. Again, like if I see a running back, if a running back comes up to me and fucking gets their filthy finger in my face, I'll tell them, I'll go right back to them, go like, yeah, guess what, buddy? Hope you enjoy concussions and low salaries. You millionaire son of a bitch. You're not as much of a millionaire as you could be if you played baseball, idiot. Enjoy the 20 hits a game. Yeah, honestly, it's kind of fun just to hate running backs. Like they're an easy group like to target, to be mean to for no reason. Coming up on the clock here so far, I've got Diggs, I've got Mark Andrews, got Michael Pittman, got Jerry Judy. No week 17 correlations prioritized early, so we'll see how that goes. Who hurt me? CMC, Dalvin, Pierre Thomas. Yeah, sure. Pierre Thomas is really the one. I think it's that I never got LaDainian Tomlinson, and as a result, I'm just psychically, like I can't ever fucking trust a running back again. I didn't get that guy. Oh, DK Metcalf, you still on the board? You looking good? Oh, but Lamar is also on the board. We're in the 5th round. I don't love taking a 5th round QB, but I'll take. I don't get enough Lamar. I don't get enough Lamar. Mm-mm. Drink on and draft on, Mr. Spags. Thank you, Dave. I appreciate it. Thank you. And Gladstone too. I hope you are somehow tying it in. If you are not actually just like doing a character based off of the former Full House character of Joey Gladstone, then and that's your real name, fantastic name, and I love it, and it brings me a lot of joy. The untold bitter feud between Spags and Chris Ivory. Give me your SSX. Sean Alexander, too, when he had 5 touchdowns at one time. I tell you, I didn't have a fucking share of him in whatever season-long leagues I was doing back then. So, yeah, look, there's some tilt. There's some tilt. Also, the year that Christian McCaffrey was really good in DFS and he kept being worth like 10K over and over again, I didn't play him once. So I guess I probably played him once, but I wasn't playing him enough to like for it to matter. I guess there could be some bias there. I'll admit it. But also, like running backs on DraftKings are not even 3K anymore. Like now they're 4K. So I'm paying a premium for these fucking assholes. Can't even get themselves paid. I'm paying for them. No chance. Making up for Alexander with my locked out. Drew Lock got fucking shit on by PointsBet for no reason. Actually, I should pull that up real fast. PointsBet like tweeted, "Oh, like prayers out for Drew Lock. There's nothing wrong with him. He just sucks." It's like you're a fucking sports book. Like you should know that. Like it's very plausible that he's not gonna be that bad. Like there's a very decent likelihood just based on how sports books work that they should know that. Let's see the PointsBet tweet. It made me mad. I'll say that. All right, let's see. Where's this fucking? I wonder if they deleted it. I hope they did. Oh, they have so many tweets. Whoever's doing the PointsBet social managing needs to not do that. Needs to do something else. Like sportsbook Twitter handles to me, like if you're gonna tweet about like live about something that's tilting a lot of people or whatever, sure. But God, there's just so many tweets to be going through. Okay, here we go. Prayers up for Drew Lock. They're saying, let me hit it real fast. Oh, I hate that I have to like pull up my big stupid face to move between tabs. If anybody out there from StreamYard is listening, please make that not be a thing. Here we go. Prayers up for Drew Lock. There's nothing wrong with him. He just sucks at football. What the fuck did Drew Lock do to you, PointsBet? He's not even a running back. He's a quarterback. I guess some could say he's a running back in a quarterback's body, but he could throw the ball. He could sling that rock. It just feels unfair, like that people could, for some reason, bully Drew Lock. Like, I don't know, man. Like Drew Lock is a human being too. He's a human being with a lovely girlfriend, so he doesn't need anything to worry about. Hopefully, a starting QB job as well. But this is like unnecessary. Just a completely unnecessary thing to do. Thank you, Ross. I hate your big stupid face too. Look, you're not wrong. All right, I'm back on the clock here. I mean, I said I have to force myself to draft running backs early. I don't have any Minnesota, right? You know what? No, I don't feel good enough at QB yet, or at a wide receiver yet. Let's do Elijah Moore. I wish DK Metcalf had fallen. I do wish that was the case. Yep, trying to ride on the coattails of the U.S. Open. That I think that's what it is too, because like social media managers are all fucking sheep. They all just follow the trend, and they all want to be like Oreo when they were first doing all their cool social media stuff, and now or like Wendy's or Arby's, whatever the fuck is doing it now. And it's like just like make good tweets, make sports betting tweets that are like, hey, like this fucking parlay, this 10-leg parlay one. Would you're a sucker to not be playing 10-leg parlays? Just fucking rip people off and don't try to be cute. Points bet. PointsBet's affiliated with NBC, and it's definitely like I like the NBC people, and if I was almost there last summer, so I like NBC a lot. So, but PointsBet, maybe they'll notice me more. I'm just mean to them. Bullock saying Natalie Newman deserves better than have her boyfriend slandered on the internet. That's true. And that's why, like, I hope Drew Lock, like, not like to be Pete with Patrick Laird or, Davis too. I feel like kind of honed in on the Patrick Laird thing enough where they're pals. I don't want Drew Lock to be my friend, but I want him to know that, like, I'm fighting this off, man. Like, I think you're good, Drew. You are worth my time. You are worth her time. You are worth Pete Girl, Drew Lock, you need to go out there and throw that deep ball. Throw it to DK Metcalf, girl. Oh. I don't think that's going to motivate Drew Lock. I don't think that's his vibe at all. But maybe. I don't know. I don't know Drew Lock. I don't know what works for him. I just know I like that way he slangs it. Throw that thing, Drew Lock. I need some Pittsburgh guys too. It's so funny, like Kevin here, and I appreciate Kevin. To get off my lawn, tequila fueled Spags solo is a delight. To be clear, I've only had like this much tequila. Like I've not had very much at all. This is more, I think, the sleep deprivation for me as adverse effects on like my quality of broadcasting. But boy, do I certainly push the limits as much as possible. It honestly feels kind of like time to take a running back, but we got Russell Wilson there. Fuck you, running backs. You can't make me take you. I don't care what you do. I'm gonna drink tequila because I don't need you, running backs. I do just about anything to get Drew Lock on Splash Play. You and me both. I want to give him a pep talk, man. He needs to not, like, if he's not letting this shit fuel him, like if Drew Lock doesn't come out fucking slinging that laser around, and to be clear, I'm talking about his arm, not his penis. If he's not out there, and maybe both. Time to pull up Natalie Newman's Instagram real fast. If he's not out there taking this as motivation, like I have not seen a player get shit on in the modern era, and certainly I'm more aware of it. Like Pete mentioned that they were even on one of the ETR streams, I think, that Davis and Leone were like, poor Spags, like loves Drew Lock, and like he sucks. And it's like I'm certainly aware of it more because of planting my flag, but people are really mean to Drew Lock. And I just don't think it's fair, man. He's like 24 or 25. Like it's just not right. It's just not right. Bonk myself, Kevin says. I don't have the bonk thing on my version of StreamYard, unfortunately. That's what Pete talks about with the ship chasing clips. Like they're all in different places. So I don't even have the Drew Lock clip on my version of Splash Play, unfortunately. So I got to get more clips on here, though. That's the next stage here. I feel like I wanted to build some comfort with the solo stream stuff just because producing shows is hard, drafting at the same time is hard, all of that, keeping a show running and having it sound quality wise, like not the actual audio, but like keeping it flowing in a way, all stuff that I prioritize. But at some point we'll get there and get some more fun stuff. They don't call it Robert saying they don't call him Horsecock Drew Lock for nothing. I hope they do. It worked for Big Dick Nick. I will gladly take if Drew Lock has just one really good year where he doesn't have to win the Super Bowl. He has to make the playoffs and have like a good fantasy year. If he does that this year, like again, I've said it before. If Drew Lock wins anybody a BBM, if they win him a DraftKings tournament, if they win them a FanDuel best ball, if they win them a Drafters or whatever else is out there, fan ball, I'll be victory lapping until the fucking cows come home. And I think too, if there's like a pass catcher, like if DK Metcalf is on that millionaire team, or if Tyler Lockett is and Drew Lock got him there, I think that's also a victory lap for Drew Lock because it wasn't always about Drew Lock. It's about Drew Lock's capability to make it all come together. Just like not drafting any running backs. Prince saying a little late to the show. How is everyone doing today? You missed a lot, Prince, man. I've been going off. Oh, thank you, Kevin. Kevin saying, killing it with the solo streams. No Putrid Pete and his running backs. Putrid Pete definitely sounds like a nickname that Trump would have given Pete. Putrid Pete won't stop drafting running backs. I can't do a Trump, to be clear. That's not political. I guess maybe running backs are political. All right. It feels like it's time to draft a running back here, even without seeing the board. Oh, CEH is still there. All right, cool. I guess we got my Denver bring back. And this is what happens. We just wait out the room long enough. They just get tired of, of not getting anything besides running backs. Then, ooh, boom, a running back right there for you. As I try desperately to scroll over. CEH, 11 picks behind ADP. Is that a value hound? I would love to. Oh, sorry, Pete. I'm stealing the bit. That wasn't even a good health. I'm going to steal the bit. Oh, Alex is also, I think, working out in the gym outside the door. I have less consideration for her than Pete has for Lauren. Unfortunately, in a variety of ways for everybody involved. I don't even want to say like anything. Oh, there we go. This is one. Owen saying CH is garbage bags. Yeah, he is, but he was going behind ADP, and I need a running back. So when you're a zero RB, bro, you got to be also a value hound. There's like a Venn diagram there where it's just one circle. Like you got, if you're gonna do zero RB, you just got to be like, oh, a running back, sure. Because that's the thing about running backs. Like, yeah, if I see a running back on the street, I'm gonna go, all right, fuck you, running back, you fucking RB. That's the way you say it, where it sounds really rude and slur like you filthy RB. But then if you see one where it's like, oh, like you seem cool, like you're one of the cool ones, then you could draft a running back. CH 11 picks behind ADP. He's one of the cool ones from where I see it. I got a lot of Ronald Jones, Owen, so have no fear there. I think Ronald Jones is actually one of my highest exposed running backs. So that's why that actually might be one of my first shares of CEH because I never take him at ADP. And he also never falls enough where I'm like, I'll do it. But now I don't have a running back in round 8. And as we saw, I think there's a reason that ones and ones of people have done that one. And I'd like to believe it's just that I have a more steady hand of not taking running backs, but I think it's probably that you should take a running back at some point. So I think to me, like round 6, round 7 is where you should. I like QB 6, RB 7 would be my ideal, but I'm not going to do it sometimes just out of spite for running backs, these filthy RBs. Oh boy. Oh, an RB moved in next door. All right, we're back on the clock here. All right, well, we got a little bit of a bet on Buffalo, so Singletary would make sense. I don't have any of Arizona, Atlanta, so that doesn't make sense. Sky Moore kind of does, but I'm going to take another running back here, and I'm just going to take Devin Singletary. All right. See, there we go. Look at me taking running backs. Take running backs when you want. Not when the public tells you to take a running back. Don't let big running back bully you around. You're your own man. You're a sovereign fantasy football drafter. You're a sovereign best ball player. You're your own nation. You can draft a running back whatever you goddamn well please. Hey, I'll drink to that. Hey, I'll drink to that. Yeah. Ah. All right, we got some real questions in here, so I appreciate that. And I'll take real questions. Like, if you want to push back on what I'm saying today, like, please do that because I'll happily do that. But Smooth Jimmy saying, do you typically let draft position dictate your structure? Or are you going zero RB majority no matter draft spot? At this point, because especially with the streams, I end up in so many rooms that are heavily wide receiver. I do go zero RB more than not. It's also now, I think, a stubbornness point. But if there's also rooms where it's like, okay, I got a decent wide receiver, it's not like an avalanche of other people taking wide receivers, I'll take a running back, but I still think it's more of an anchor build to me. And I was saying on Twitter, I think it's Eric Lindquist, again, of Stochastic, who's worth checking out. If you like MLB DFS, check out his shows because I think they do really great streams. I love ATN. I love Breece Hall. I love those guys more when they were 5th round picks and 6th round picks. I don't love them as 3rd rounders. I just think there's enough question marks there that I'd go Michael Carter for much cheaper. I'd go James Robinson for cheaper and hope that Achilles somehow bounces back and ATN's used like a gimmick guy or a rich man's Tavon Austin. I don't think that's likely. I think ATN's a good player, but I also I got him for cheaper now. I think I have 10% ATN. I would need to confirm that just so I'm not pulling that out of my ass. I drafted a lot of ATN as my anchor running back, and now he's going where running backs cost. So I think that's the thing to me is being sensitive. And that's the appeal to me of drafting from May, the second this tournament was available. I was doing drafts. So I think that's where I have a little more luxury that perhaps you might not have if you're drafting only in July and August. We're back on the clock here. Oh, look, and shocker, there's a bunch of running backs hanging out here. That sounded a bunch of filthy RBs hanging out here. And we're going to take one. We're going to take a Tyler Boyd. Or we're not going to take one is actually what I meant to say. We're not going to take one because I'm still pretty soft on running back, honestly. Like I would like a little more at running back here. Also, it looks like this window's kind of weird, but I do have Mark Andrews as well. If you can't see him, oh no, you can't see him. All right, never mind. That works weird. That's it's like this window for me is like outside of visibility range, but on the StreamYard it seems to be in range. I got to get a Pittsburgh guy. Like I would like Claypool's already gone. I feel like everybody's gone besides Pickens. Oh well. Spags just throwing out random exposure numbers. I'll look it up. I'll look it up while we're on the stream. It's always like it's always a risk profile for me of like, should I pull up another tab? Like, am I gonna fuck up the entire production of this stream with it? So I gotta weigh those things accordingly. All right, so let's see. This season, I'll look at my overall exposures. This is gonna include the first puppy, but not the super flex puppy. And wait, I forget who was I looking up again? Who did I who did I say I had 10% of? I got ETN. That was it. Okay, closer to 5% ETN. More in Best Ball Mania though, so that's fine. And Brees Hall, I've got 11% of. So I have a good amount of Brees Hall. Thankfully that is accurate. All right. And we are coming up on the clock in a little bit here, and I will probably try to take a running back again. Wouldn't mind Ramondre Stevenson falling at this point. But again, that's what like I really do think if you're going to do zero RB, just wait out everybody else and just take with the RBs that they go, oh, this guy stinks because they don't fucking know. Like, player takes are not going to win you best ball. I don't think, unless you are doing it at such a high level that seems to me, based on everything I know of now 5 years in this industry with like really sharp companies that are doing both the betting side, the DFS side, the fantasy side, also the team analytics side of Football Outsiders parent company. So like we sell data to NFL teams. Like I've seen a lot now. I just don't think that people know that much more than everybody else out there. So that's why I just don't think player takes people like I'm so relieved to be free of player takes. Like Drew Lock is a player take, but it's not really because it's a player take it at the 18th round. Like that to me is like a free player take where if I'm wrong, okay, cool. Well, sorry the guy nobody drafts sucked. but it's also like, that to me is kind of the thing is you can take your flyers there. We're back on the clock here. Kind of feels like Gallup is not a bad value. We took Ronald Jones, so we can't take him. I feel like I could use a little more wide receiver depth. I'm also not correlating for week 17 as much as I would normally like here, but I'm just going to take Michael Gallup. I also never take Michael Gallup, so that is one that I'm not planning a flag for in any way whatsoever. I just think that he's a good value here going 6 picks behind ADP. Whatever. I don't know that he gets back in time from his injury, but if we're drafting for weeks 15 through 17 like we should be in the hopes of winning millions of dollars, then Gallup could be back. He could be running good. I think Jalen Tolbert's going to supplant him, though. That's one of my pet theories. Carlos Manzo saying all the hip running backs went already, Spags. Yeah, look, I mean, I think now we're just getting the second tier running backs, the guys that couldn't book an arena show. So CEH Singletary, though, like Singletary to me, I feel like he should be a 7th rounder. And I think there's a chance he could be. People like James Cook too much. And I think people are worried about the draft capital there. But I think Singletary is like fighting for a contract. Like he's fighting for a job. So they were giving him 25 touches down the stretch last year. Like I think Singletary is sneaky or, sneaky enough relative to ADP. Like I don't think he should be going in the 9th, sometimes the 10th. There we go. Carlos likes Singletary. If you like Singletary, Carlos, you're my manzo, Carlos. That's kind of wordplay you got on your name in this chat. Smooth Jimmy saying love player takes, so it keeps people focusing on the wrong stuff. That's also a fair point. It's just like as somebody who has to be on Twitter, just because like I have to, like I hate tweeting. Like I just hate the act of it. Like, and it's nothing against you guys. Like the people who I follow back. Like so I follow back most people who follow Splash Play. And anybody who has like an interesting bio, it seems like they're doing something noteworthy. Like I try to make sure to get in, especially if, like as long as you have an avatar. Because like I think I'd get filtered for that. Like I like following people. I like seeing what they're saying out there, but people get fucking hostile. Like if you say they don't know player take stuff or that they shouldn't do player take stuff, like I just think people don't like that. They think it's like an affront on your masculinity somehow. It's like challenging somebody to do a duel in the Old West, is calling them out and being like, "Oh, I don't think you're good at player takes, buddy." Then they're like, "Well, I'll meet you at the OK Corral at 4 p.m. varmint." I got some player takes. I'm gonna be dishing out. Pow pow. That's fucking player take, guys. Yosemite Sam, this fucking 4-foot guys dishing out, dishing out all this sage football wisdom from a sport they could never play. All right. um, all right, let's get a little week 17 correlation at tight end. This is a weird one, not one I would normally do, but Freiermuth falling a little bit here. I need a tight end too. I do have Mark Andrews. Tight end correlation pretty weak, I think. Like, I don't think that's the sexiest one, but both guys are functional parts of their passing offenses. So I don't mind taking Andrews and Freiermuth together and hoping that they have a good week 17 run. Josh saying, I can't even get a Spags retweet. Yeah, no, I don't retweet anybody. I retweet me. I retweet shit I'm working on and companies that pay me. So don't be offended about not getting a retweet, because this is business, baby. This is tweet business, son. What is this tweet business, son? I'll challenge you to a duel. Honestly, old-timey prospectors might be a bit. That could be like a waiver wire bit for Splash Play in season when we get back to doing some quality improv character work. The old-timey prospectors painting for gold. Well, that could be the kind of bit you could do every Tuesday. This is my old-timey prospector dance. I feel like there's a lot of sideways elbow movement if you're an old-timey prospector. Oh, I got you were being sarcastic, Smooth Jimmy. Don't worry about it. But yeah, no, I think player takes are bad. Player takes are bad. What are we sipping on today, Drew? And as I mentioned earlier, but I'll for people streaming in, I appreciate it. So I'll tell you what I'm drinking as I go. Orange juice, blood orange, soda from Whole Foods, and then tequila will be the alcohol base. Shaken up in this lovingly crafted little shaker that I've had for years now, and I love deeply. I love shaken up drinks. I feel like you can make any sort of regular ass cocktail, and if you shake it up, put some ice in there, oh, it's like you're in flavor country, baby. It's like you're outside the OK Corral fighting in a duel against somebody who's got some bad player takes. Ooh, could it be Michael Carter's season coming up for old Spags, trying to get a little bit of more of the Jets? We all want those New York Jets, because if you have a New York Jets player, you're legally allowed to go like you're a Jet. All right, cool. Michael Carter it is. Will Tyler Algier come back to me? I don't think so. But boy, do I love some Tyler Algier, my friend. Oh man, this is how bad I'm reproducing sometimes. I'm like trying to scroll over on this computer when it's over here. I got it now. FF Doom saying Carter feels so underrated now. I agree, as somebody that was taking him 40 spots higher ADP wise. But I like Michael Carter. I think he's got a couple outs. Like his outs are that Breece Hall gets hurt. It's outs are that Breece Hall is in a more of a 50-50 share than it seems, and people are treating it at right now. And also, like, his out is that like the pass game could just be fucking bumping, and the Jets defense might not be improved enough to actually be meaningfully better and stop them from getting into game scripts that like they're gonna have to throw it a lot, I would think, still. So especially in that division, Michael Carter can definitely get there. Jets offense, love it. Spags just found a Singletary squeeze toy. It's okay. Well, you know what? If Mathology's telling me to pull up some lovely lass of Instagram who is loosely related to a player, probably just some girl that he's seeing very briefly. But you know what? We'll assign more meaning to it than we need to. It is Toyonni, TOYONNIE_. Oh, her handle is Queen T. That's never one you want here. I'm gonna make my pick first, and we'll go over to Toyonni and see how she's doing. All right, back on the clock here. All right, yep. Tyler Algier did not fall to me. But again, we got so many running backs to choose from, which is what I love doing. I just love scooping them up. Give me some of that sweet, sweet value juice is what I do. I don't know about that sweet, sweet value juice. I'm going to take Gainwell, though. Kenneth Gainwell, the outs for him. Miles Sanders already says don't fucking draft him in fantasy. That seems not ideal. I think overall Gainwell being more used in the pass game could be a benefit for him, especially if the pass game is better. I don't love pass catching running backs with mobile QBs because there is, I think, enough data that supports that they just don't hit checkdowns nearly enough. But whatever. I like Kenneth Gainwell enough. I don't need to justify it to you. Running back. All right, Queen T. Let's go over there. Stop sharing. Boop. Sharon. Oh, I gotta remove. Actually, I guess I keep the chat up. The chat's still relevant. Share screen. Chrome tab. Toyani. What do we think about Queen T? We'll find out together because I didn't look very closely. What product she's selling with Enrich 46? Okay. Oh, cool hair. Cool hair. That was such a white guy thing to say. I'm sorry. Okay. Okay. She looks short, which I bet Singletary likes 'cause he's like kind of short too. So he feels like a big man. Only 289 likes. Hmm. Bit of a red flag. No pun intended. Oh boy. That outfit. That outfit. I couldn't pull that off. It may shock you to hear the guy drafting a basketball team couldn't pull that one off. Oh, little Brazil look. Okay. Look, Toyani seems nice. She seems perfectly acceptable enough for me that I don't think she's gonna detract from what Devin Singletary's doing. I don't think she's gonna distract any meaningful way. And but still be hopefully a willing and supportive partner. And that's what we look for in our Instagram gals who are dating Devin Singletary. All right, we're gonna go back on the clock here in a second here. So probably need to pull that tab up instead of the big booty tab. Instead of Devin Singletary like some thick. .com. It's not a website. You can't build that website. It'd be infringing on Devin Singletary's copyrights. Willis. All right. Well, there you go. Bonk for Willis. Oh, best ball moderate. Devin will upgrade next contract. Yeah, look, I hope he plays well enough to justify that based on this team I'm building. We're back on the clock here. We got ourselves a 2-4-6-2. So we can justify going running back or receiver, not QB still. And then Paris Campbell, or not Paris Campbell. Not Paris Campbell. I was looking at Paris Campbell, kind of intriguing. Darrell Williams, though, more intriguing here. Just in the hopes that James Conner gets hurt, which it may shock you to hear happens enough. Happens enough that I'm willing to go there. James Conner gets hurt. James Conner bad in pass protection. James Conner just can't handle the same workload that, no Chase Edmonds there anymore. And I don't think, Benjamin's that dude, despite what my good pal Pete says. So Darrell Williams, the mentor, come on down. Alex, I think we both know I don't approve of this headline, and I will not read it out loud. Both of the R words of Rihanna and running backs, we don't say those in this house. Luca, stop trying to date Rihanna. No, she's too old for you. Luca, don't draft running backs and then date Rihanna. That's the 2 R's. I prefer writing and arithmetic. Instead, you've gone running backs and Rihanna. They can't all be fucking gems, guys. Or maybe they can. I don't know. Maybe they can. Ah. Josh saying Spags next Friday we draft with only rankings being how good looking the player's significant other is. That is entirely too much work. It is entirely too much for me for a bit. I'll make a thumbnail. I'll make a shock face. I'll put an arrow on there. I'll Photoshop. These are not fucking. I had to Photoshop Cooper Kupp. I had to Photoshop T Higgins. That's how much I hate running backs. I had to Photoshop Darren Waller because that's what the kind of man I am. That's the kind of running back hater I am. You want to be committed to hating running backs, you better wake up goddamn early and Photoshop Cooper Kupp next to your dumb face pointing to a money hat. Pete hasn't fucking done that in years. Pete's drafted running backs left and right. You think he's Photoshopping Cooper Kupp anymore? No. Actually, I think he might have had a Cooper Kupp thumbnail not that long ago. Didn't matter enough, though. Shh. To Willis's chat on the screen. Shh. I'll take you down to the OK Corral, mister. Pew pew. Pew pew. Pew pew is kind of fun. The thing is, like, I can't do that with Luca. I can't do finger guns. Like, he needs to fucking not know shit about guns. Like, especially if we stay in Pennsylvania for longer than I would like. That baby needs to not know about a fucking gun for a while. He needs fucking kids here. They just go grab a gun from their parents. And parents are like, go ahead. Yeah. Oh, you want to go play outside? Yeah, sure. Just grab the gun from the bottom shelf. If you go to the wrong part of Pennsylvania, no, thank you, friend. Honestly, just Philadelphia in general. You don't want that. Gun control, ladies and gentlemen. At least just not being a fucking idiot. All right. got ourselves 5 running backs, 6 receivers. Could go either way right now. And I think Wandale Robinson being here, that feels pretty good given that we do have Michael Pittman, can bring that this week 17 correlation. The Michael Pittman, Wandale Robinson duel that the fantasy world never forgot, that won Spags $2 million so he could stream for luxury and not out of necessity. Not out of the grind. This is the modern day grind here. This is like being outside the OK Corral back in the day, panhandling while guys are shooting each other in the face because of their player takes. Oh boy, we're getting real bendy with these callbacks. Got to install that hegemonic masculinity. I got to tell you, hegemonic is a word that I've seen before, and I don't know what that means. If I had to guess, I would guess that it's like bringing the enthusiastic yet speedy nature of Sonic the Hedgehog. Is that what hegemonic means? Because if so, I support it. The first, I didn't see Sonic the Hedgehog 2, but Sonic the Hedgehog 1, great film, one that you could take the whole family to, whether they be hedgehogs or human. Murano, Wandale. Yeah, look, I don't like stealing Pete's bits for names though. I feel dirty doing that. Like I feel like that should be Pete's sacred place. Like even with the value hound thing, it's fun to howl, and I'll howl, because I want to howl. I don't want to draft running backs. I want to howl. Those are the things that I look for. But I would say that like yeah, from my perspective, I gotta be more careful about not encroaching on Pete bits, even though I feel like we share a content brain at this point. Not a good enough one for me. Spags probably has 0 Cobb because of his age bias. I do not have a single share of Randall Cobb. That is correct. I'd rather take Romeo Dubs than I haven't taken Romeo Dubs in a while. I honestly have just avoided the Packers. Like they're a team I think I'm willing to get in August just because like I don't know. I don't know what's going on there. And I don't think Christian Watson's the move. I don't think I took Alan Lazard last night. I don't think that's the move. All right, we're back on the clock here. We could probably use another high upside running back who cannot be a Chief. Um, we don't need anybody from New England, so that's fine. All right, let's just take Brian Robinson here. Young, big bully back guy who can get some end zone luck. And again, a rookie that we don't know. Brian Robinson can show up to camp, and then Ron Rivera's like, "I love you, Brian Robinson. Antonio Gibson, I disown you. Go across the street, you running back. Come here, Brian Robinson." And then Brian Robinson would be going in the 6th round, and everybody'd be like, "Brian Robinson, the next great back is Brian." Headlines saying, "Brian Robinson, the new Derrick Henry. Brian Robinson, better than Zeke?" Question mark! Exclamation point. Uh, so I don't know. Point being, buying on Brian Robinson. Get your Brian Robinson shares now. Get your B Rob shares. A Rob, we upgraded to B Rob. Brob. Spags is 6'1". Spags is deceptively short on streams, which upsets me because I'm somebody that is the perfect height for most situations. Could be taller, sure. Could have been taller for my basketball career. Could have been taller just to stand out in rooms more. But 6'1" is like one of those heights you get through life with nary an issue. And they're tall enough that most women can wear heels unless they're like 5'10". And it's like, oh cool, like we're peers basically. We're the Twin Towers going head to head. Oh fuck! When you're dating Ralph Sampson. Hegemonic masculinity is a practice that legitimizes men's dominant position in society and justifies the subordination of common male population to women and other marginalized ways of being a man. I like the hedgehog one better. If I had to choose. I'm going to do a puppy draft after this one wraps as well, and then we will call it a weekend here. And of course, if you're watching live or after the fact, I appreciate it, so thank you for that. But also hit the like button if you can. That helps me out a bunch here as we try to build up the Splash Play channel. We're cresting. We're so close to 1,000 subs on there, and it would mean a lot to me. Oh, baby, it would mean a lot to me to get those cents and cents of YouTube dollars to be able to panhandle for super chats. Oh, what a dream it would be on the Splash Play channel. So please subscribe and tell some friends, honestly. It's fantasy football season, guys. If you're not playing best ball, fucking do it. If you are playing best ball, tell your friends who aren't playing best ball to play best ball, and then tell them to come hang out here and watch me pound tequila and rant about running backs in ways that sound vaguely inappropriate. How do you feel about my overstacked Philadelphia New Orleans team? Oh, I didn't see this. Okay. So this is Smegma Soldier 6. You better actually be on the board because I didn't look that closely at the names. Okay, here we go. He's got Jalen Hurts. Oh, okay, full week 17. Jalen Hurts, Jameis Winston, another zero RB bro as well. Drafting a sixth running back here. Actually, no, that's back to mine. Hold on, let me draft my player first. Then we'll get this right. All right, what do I need? What do I need? I could use one more receiver, I think. Any good correlations? Honestly, I don't. Oh boy, my receivers kind of stink. I'm not gonna lie. Like if you're gonna go zero RB, you got to get some better receivers. I think is the main thing for me. That's what happens when I take QBs too early, though. I got to take that second QB later. There's like one more QB here instead of Russell Wilson. I think would change the situation a little more positively, but this is fine. I hate getting Lamar too without Bateman. I think Bateman's a beast. Anyway, Smegma Soldier, if it'll let me stay on his team. I'll just sauce you at the end, Lunchables connoisseur, and then we'll do the puppy. The gunfight at the OK Corral was a 30-second shootout between Splash Play and a loosely correlated group of ball carriers at about 2:30 p.m. on Friday, July 8th in Boobstone, YouTube terrace. Oh, Mathology. You really, when you show up for the Friday streams, you bring your A game, my friend, and I appreciate that. And by A game, I mean the A in TNA, based on that based on Queen T. Queen T, ironically, Queen A as well. Oh, my boy Jonathan Gator. I feel like we were in a draft last night, right, Jonathan? I think you're your interrogator, I believe, on these. All right, let me see this quick little draft, and then we'll go to a puppy. So if you want to draft along with me, we can do a puppy in 1 second here. But I did promise Smegma Soldier. Oh, I also didn't. Here we go. Zero RB. Twitter is full of tools or fools, I think, or tools too. Both are accurate. All right, let's go to Smegma Soldier's team. Jalen Hurts, Jameis Winston, Melvin Gordon, Darrell Henderson, Khalil Herbert, Tyrion Davis Price. So you went zero RB. I would probably draft one more running back here. I don't hate getting to 7, honestly. Like I do think that's one thing with zero RB is like these are lottery tickets, especially drafting now. So take 7 lottery tickets or take 6 lottery tickets at least. But I think, the roster construction explorer, I think that what we were doing at the beginning of the show does look perfectly fine at 5 too, but I think 6 is a little better. Love the receivers though. Justin Jefferson, Debo got a nice discount on AJ Brown. Also Allen Robinson, Devonta Smith, Michael Thomas, Chris Olave. So a double stack with Philly and New Orleans. Julio Jones floating around. His value could go up if he goes somewhere good. Don't think you needed 3 tight ends, but I you know what? Honestly, I could see it with Taysom Hill, and then you really are heavily stacked up. The issue is like Philly New Orleans on paper, like doesn't look like one of the most appealing games, but I get it. I got it. All right, we're gonna do the puppy now. So if you want to play along with me here and didn't want to waste $25, let's hit the puppy too. Of course, it is. I'm honestly seeing it for the first time. So 500K in total prizes, 75K to first. So nice little prize pool there for first place, and we'll hit it one here in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Drafting. Hope those ribs are coming along well. Didn't realize until the end of the draft had similar strategies. Look, I always when I try to identify people where I'm like, oh, that guy's drafting nice. like the way that guy's drafted. Yeah, but Jonathan, a good drafter. I certainly try to identify in my head, like, oh, this guy drafts the way that I appeal. Like GA always scoops, GA007 always scoops my things I like, whether it be on the stream, whether it be other drafts I feel like I've had with him. But yeah, I think I like the people that just let us live. Let us cook. Like here, you worry about your stacks, you plan on your flags. I'll worry about my stacks. Let's not get in each other's way. It's about doing business here. We're not trying to duel outside the OK Corral. We're trying to come together at the table of, I was gonna say the table of brotherhood, which feels disrespectful. But still, we're coming together at the table of best ball brotherhood. Let's let each other have the picks we want. Have fun with it. And this looks like a nice little splash play room, seeing a lot of familiar names. So thank you guys for playing along here. And of course, if you want to play on Underdog, if for some reason you're not playing on Underdog right now, use the promo code SPLASH, double your deposit up to $100. Really would be nice to do that for yourself. Great way to honestly enter the puppy a bunch more times for free, basically, which is a positive. So go play that. Use the promo code SPLASH over on Underdog if you want to do that. Double that deposit today. Yes, you are. Bolick, to be clear, the OK Corral is before all of our time. I just think it's funny to keep referencing things that vaguely amuse me. And the idea of a player take guy being Yosemite Sam outside the OK Corral trying to duel with people, yeah, that still brings me joy. Sparks joy. To quote one Marie Kondo, who would not cut it in the Old West. Oh, boy. Oh, you fellas and gals. You think you're going to make me take a running back, and you're wrong. If you think you're going to fucking catch me taking a running back on a stream with this thumbnail back here, you think I'm taking a running back? No chance. For $5? I've burned more money on bad decisions a million times over. Honestly, Austin Eckler would have made sense there. Good pick. Good pick by Kevin coming after me. Only leave me tight ends. Yeah, look, I don't think I'm gonna do bully tight end this early. I think a receiver is gonna be next on the board for me. But if you boys keep taking taking running backs, what an avalanche! What an avalanche! Just an avalanche of piss. I guess is what that would be based on the common phraseology for the colorings here. An avalanche of oranges also would be pretty painful. Like if they just were toppling upon you. Speaking of an avalanche of orange, actually time to top this off. So that worked out well. Worked out well for everybody. Pour it through my little. Oh, here's the ASMR. The splashing all over too. It's a real splash play over here, you could say. Oh shit. Okay. Oh yeah. Okay. I guess I'll leave some more in here. I guess I don't need to fill it up all the way. I was gonna keep drinking it until I could end the shaker, but no. I keep it classy. That's what I'm known for. So I wipe up the sticky Home Depot table that I use as my late night talk show desk. Yesterday I likened my studio to like because like Alex like, why don't you just do work in the studio sometimes? And it's like, well, because it's like it's a studio. Like you don't see Matt Lauer going into the Today Show and doing some paperwork. Like he's out, he's in his office. Like it's separate things. So people just parents just don't understand. What type of tequila? Terramana, because I'm grabbing the passion of the islands or whatever. The power of the islands, I think is what The Rock really pushes a lot. Oh, T. Higgins, you're gone. I mean, honestly, Mike Evans still being here. Like, I think I just gotta. You just gotta. Would have liked Debo there. Would have liked some other guys that I think I might be able to get on the way back. I also really enjoy The Rock's Instagram. Like I just enjoy he's got like a really positive attitude, great smile too. Then when I was at WWE, I did hear like some horror stories about him, like when he was starting to get famous at first. Like there was one time he had a book signing where he like locked himself in like his room basically after, where he's like he just didn't want to deal with people and like didn't want to see them. Because like on the way out, like a lot of times like people will be waiting by the exit point for wrestlers to like get signings and whatever. Or try to get them to do like things for free basically after they were just doing something that they were paid for. But he had fucking had it with people. So I find his attitude to be refreshing. I also find it refreshing. He's always buying people houses and cars. Like, that would be my dream. If I win Best Ball Mania, I'm buying everybody a house and car. Like a tiny one, like a Monopoly size one. That's how I get you. The Rock left his wife and kids when he got famous. He's actually business partners with his wife though. And his daughter is like in WWE now. So I think he's been a good dad for, people make mistakes, get married young. Shouldn't do that. You gotta wait until it's uncomfortable. Almost getting uncomfortable for you when you're 37 years old and you're like, if I'm single much longer, people are going to start to ask some questions. That's really when you want to decide. No, you got to be ready. I think people my parents got married when they were 18 and 20, had me 19 and 21, and it was not the right fucking idea for them. So, find your joy. Even if it's player take, even if it's running backs, find your joy. I won't support your joy, but find your joy. Let's get a White House like the 90s Cowboys. Yeah, we definitely need a Coke and orgy house for us internet guys. For the Splash Play community. Hey, Pete, I know we don't make a lot of money from this show. Can we reinvest it into a cocaine brothel? Pete wouldn't agree to that in public. Maybe in private. He's got a daughter now. He's got to be a good guy. When you got a son, you can just be a piece of shit. I used to be a piece of shit. Slick back hair, sloppy steaks at your Fonnies. Living for New Year's. Is this slick back? This is pushed back. All right, we're on the clock again. The room is kind of stabilized into normalcy. Could do some different stuff here. I'm not going to take Michael Pittman again. You know what? Why don't we try a little bit of flipping here for our Denver KC correlation? Honestly, I could have justified taking DJ Moore there, and I never take DJ Moore. And there goes DJ Moore. People are pumping up DJ Moore. I got to say that right now. I see DJ Moore going like 25. I don't think DJ Moore should go that high just because of Baker Mayfield. If he's like, I don't know, if he's at a discount relative to ADP, if people aren't buying him in the room you're in, take DJ Moore. But man, I don't know about that one. The Vikings had a party boat. Yeah, they had a lot of fun and games on that one. I think I could say safely. I think I could say safely. I don't think I've ever been anywhere that's had a double-headed dildo in my life. Like I don't think I've ever been. Maybe like a sex toy shop that we went in as a bit in like high school or whatever. I don't think I've been in many places, at least not professional establishments. And they had one there on the go. They had some weird shit. Fred Smoot and the gang. I forget who the offensive players that were there. They got away safe. I think Dante Culpepper was there. Great one, early running QB, early running plus deep ball QB. Some could say Dante Culpepper, the Drew Lock of his era, but Drew Lock, much better guy. He's not doing party boats. He's got Natalie Newman at home. He's docking one. He's docking in one port. not like that Dante Culpepper character. Lunchables connoisseur saying drafting RBs early is like banging a hot chick who just lays there like you finish led, but your disappointment feeling like you didn't get the. Glad you said it and not me. That's what I'd say. All right, back on the clock here. And if you had to guess, what do you think I'd take here? You gotta wonder. We got Kelsey. Yeah, I mean, I'm not fucking taking Zeke. It's fucking, you could spit in my face before I take Zeke. Let's take Deontay Johnson. I don't mind Terry McLaurin, especially now that he got paid, but I'll take Deontay Johnson. You can correlate with my last team, where I didn't get a great Pittsburgh bring back. All right. Look, this is my draft, man. This is my kind of draft. 3 receivers, an elite tight end. I'm in position to take probably one more receiver. Then we'll go to QB. Then I'll try to take a running back. It's out when I'm saying like this, it kind of sounds like, not to be a creep, but like it sounds like a missionary. I'm just like, you just got to do it this one way and it works. But I just like, that's what I like. That's how I like to draft, man. I'll move the QB around a little bit, but that's besides that. I don't need these running backs. I don't need these hyper fragile builds over here. Look at you fucking hyper fragile losers. If you're in the chat, I'm sorry for calling you losers. But if you're not in the chat, look at these fucking losers here drafted hyper fragile. Yeah. I'll have another running back, guys. Whoa. Oh, I'm gonna hand you the ball. Oh, I'm gonna run. I'm gonna run real hard. Oh, my brain is bleeding. Oh, running backs. GA saying, love how Spags correlates between drafts too, especially when I'm multi-tabling. That's where Pat Corain, I was actually watching the Spike Week show that he did with Bime for. And I guess when I was telling Pete about Corain going fucking ape shit and going off the reservation completely with his best ball draft, they talked about that. And I guess Corain was finding out about me talking shit while they were doing that show. And I felt bad about that one. But I do think if you're going to multi-table, like, yeah, just fucking line up both parts of it. So it's like, okay, well, I got the Baltimore stack here. Didn't get Bateman. If here I got Bateman, that'd be great. This guy's taking 5 running backs. Hold on. This feels like it's got to be spitefully deliberate. He's taking Jonathan Taylor, Leonard Fournette, Travis Etienne, Cam Akers, Breece Hall. You see this? Why I never draft. Hold on. I'm going big screen. Why I never draft RBs. I pointed the wrong way. Why I never draft RBs. That's why. He's a fucking guys like that. That's stupid. Don't do it. Don't do it. Or do it, I guess. Fucking do it for me and everybody else out there. But just throws off the feng shui of the room. The couch is over here, the windows facing the oven. It's not feng shui. It's draft like that. All right, back on the clock. Don't think could take Godwin, but Godwin feels like he's going to be cheaper. Honestly, this is kind of a logical spot to take a running back, which is why I'm going to take Brandon Cooks. Do. Come on down, Brandon Cooks. I know I made a lot of jokes about concussions today, but not for you. You're doing great. Keep running downfield. Run as far away from the line of scrimmage as possible. Run as far away from contact as possible. Please, Brandon Cooks. Please. Josh saying he's taking Seattle to block my lock stack. I don't take a lock stack. I don't need to take one. I've got more than enough Drew Lock already, if we're being honest. But I'll take him if it falls to me. Like if DK falls to me, if Lockett falls to me, if like a Garrett Wilson, Elijah Moore. But I've got Seattle full stacks with Brees Hall and some Jets guys. So I'm covered there. I got them when they were cheap, when nobody believed in them. Back before PointsBet even know who Drew Lock was. Back before the US Open knew what tennis was. That's how long I've had my Drew Lock. Zeke's pillow talk partner's Instagram is private. Yeah, his pillow talk partner was a classy way to say that. What do they don't talk? Sometimes you don't need to talk. When you're Zeke, you just gotta scarf it up. So, well, I didn't mean that in the bonkable way. I meant more in the famous gift of eating cereal way. But yeah, maybe that's how he fucking eats box. I don't know. Oh, this show's never gonna move up the food chain, is it? Can't make jokes about Zeke eating pussy like he ate that cereal. But if you're gonna do it, you do it an hour and a half in. Pro tip. Okay, we're back on the clock here. Now feels like a nice time to take a running back, given that everybody's apparently given up on taking running backs here. And a nice little Baltimore bring back for Deontay Johnson. Come on down, J.K. Dobbins. Oh, the bonks are streaming in. And poor Bullock, what is happening? Well, you see, when a man loves a woman, Bullock, sometimes he'll eat her pussy like it's Zeke eating cereal. And hold on, I'll pull up the GIF. Zeke cereal GIF. Okay. Let me share this screen. I mean, it's important now for the people who don't know what I'm talking about here. Like, if you can't spell out a reference by pulling up a GIF and and why would you even do it? Here we go. Oh, Zeke. That's not how you do that. That's not how you eat cereal. It's not how you do any of the parts. This stream is rated NC-17 for Ezekiel Elliott eating cereal. This guy doesn't know what to do. He's going to take another running back just out of panic. Oh, he took Michael Thomas. Ross's daughter just said bonk. I'm sorry. See, now I gotta be mindful of the parent. Too many dads out there, so many cool dads watching with their kids. I can't be talking about Zeke performing cunnilingus. I'll say it classily. Like that cereal gif. But bonk is fun. Like if I were a kid, I would love bonk too. Honestly, we need to like steal the bonk meme entirely and make it a splash play thing because we could sell some t-shirts. Just bonk with a big exclamation point on a shirt. I'll take it. Thank you, Paul. Amazing stream. And that kid's is how I met your mother. Yes. You can meet a mother or two if you're willing to go to town like that, I think. I don't know much about mothers, but I do know what I understand from watching a certain documentary called Desperate Housewives. Seems like they He'd probably respond well to Zeke's treatment. Not with a spoon, though. Save that for the OB. Oh, the rib timer just went off on my Apple Watch, so some nice ribs coming my way. Does Alex ever watch these streams? No, but she can hear me right now working out. If her, she probably puts her headphones on just so she can't possibly be interfered with, would be my thought. But I hope she didn't listen to this one for her sake. All right, cool. Russell Wilson again? Well, it must be my birthday. Russell Wilson falling left and right. Honestly, not bad. I love getting Russ in the 7th. I love not having to reach for Russ where he's just right there. He's just teed up, hopping on my lap, singing Mr. President to me. As multimillionaire QBs do for the guy drafting them that they have no idea who they are. They get on their lap and they go, "Happy birthday, Mr. President." And then Russell Wilson just comes over and he's like, "7th round, huh?" Haven't seen you drafted me in the 7th round before. Come back this way often, buddy. Thank you, Max. Max comes in, says good afternoon, and immediately has to give me a bonk. And Jonathan, again, look, I'm doing a serious draft. I'm doing bits. Look, can't ask for more. And the room allowed me to draft a 0 RB team that I don't feel awful about. So thank you, room. Thank you to everybody who's drafting along in the puppy today. I feel like this has been a classy 0 RB draft. And then poor J Pose up top. He got no clue what's going on. He got no clue what happened to him. Oh, CEH, shocker. CEH falling again, huh? It was nice back in the day when you could get Chris Godwin or Russell Gage falling a little bit later. I guess Godwin's still falling. I just meant Gage, honestly. I just completely misspoke. But I'm going to take Tom Brady here because I do have Mike Evans and I want to be done at QB. Now I wish I had taken DJ Moore. Oh, well, that's fine. I'll get Robbie Anderson late. You think Baker Mayfield's going to care who he's throwing to? You think A, do you think Baker Mayfield cares who he's throwing to? B, do you think Baker Mayfield will be starting then? It's probably going to be Matt Corral. So I think he'll throw to whoever's there, and he'll probably be getting some more practice reps with Terrace Marshall. Maybe I'll get Terrace Marshall in the 18th. See, Kevin, I think, is one of those guys who's new around here, perhaps. Bro, you need help. Yes, I do. But also, this is just kind of electric energy you can find on the Splash Play YouTube channel. Subscribe now. If you're new around here, come back every Friday at 2:30. And, of course, hang out with me and Pete Overs at Monday and Thursday at 2:30 as well. And, better than a lot of the other YouTubers out there, I would say. Maybe. They're not talking about Zeke. They're not teaching children how to bonk. What other fucking fantasy football channel has taught a child the word bonk? None. Not a one. Ne'er. Bobby Woods and OK Corral. Honestly, Matt Corral is like, his nickname should be like, if he's like okay, but but not that good, his nickname should be OK Corral. Like that should be the one takeaway that we have for this one is when Baker Mayfield inevitably flames out and enters into a feud with Matt Rule. That when Matt Corral is starting, we're gonna all call him OK Corral. He doesn't need help. He's just a millennial dad. That's true. We've debated a lot how to is it worth making a parenting channel for like the millennials out there that want to be snarky and make fun of their kids because we're really unique in that front. I don't know. Parents are afraid to talk shit about their kids publicly though. That's the one thing I've observed. Like they're not caustic enough about it. Like I feel like, especially on the female side, I've engaged with enough mom content just through being fucking force fed it on Instagram. Yeah, thanks guys. Yeah, I don't want to see a hot college girl titties. I want to see fucking mom content from betches. But anyway, I follow that handle, so it's fine. I asked for that one. But I do think that's something that even the most cynical, snarky kind of mom parent content is still oh, I love my sweet little angel. My sweet little angel wakes me up at 3 a.m. and 5 a.m. and 7 a.m. But I think they're just so swell. And I wake up every morning, blessed him. It's he's cute. He's cute. I hope he doesn't date Rihanna. Besides that, I don't know. And I think that's what the internet needs more of. For all you non-parents out there to fucking know. All right. A lot of RBs available for me. And I'll have a little tasty treat of Ken Walker. New Ladainian Tomlinson Summer saying, kids are assholes, even mine. Look, I'm glad. It's funny though. It's like one of those things that parents don't say to you until you have the kids, and then they're like, "Oh yeah, fucking, this sucks, huh?" Like, oh gee, thanks guys, thanks for doing the fucking uh, invasion of the body snatchers thing, making us all into pod people. When you could have just told me, "Oh yeah, this is miserable." Like, don't do it. Oh, Bullock, you child, you sweet summer child. Okay. Kevin was lagging a bit. His observation was with the mental image of Russ cooking on Spags' lap with the Marilyn Monroe look in his eye. Again, like I can only offer you, I can only offer you uniqueness. I can't offer you the best advice though. I do think this stream, if we're gonna go back, look at the roster construction explorer, look at the bits that occurred therein, I would say for the solo streams, this is probably the best combo of like actual, information with the entertainment factor. You got me ranting. Look, doing what I can, doing what I can. Hit the like button, guys. This don't come easy, baby. If I don't get those sweet likes, well, I can't get back on stage. I can't get back here. I would be doing this. I'm so glad, thankfully, that like at least a couple dozen of you guys watched this live, and then after the fact, like the couple hundred people who watched afterwards. Thank you for that, because if this were just like 100 people watching in total and fucking 5 people watching live, you'd be seeing me fucking playing the old violin. Nobody's ever referred to the the less said, the better. All right, back on the clock here. Could go receiver, could go running back. And it seems like the field has made the choice for me. And here's the thing, ladies and gentlemen. If you've missed any part of this stream so far, you might have missed that I did, in fact, take Devin Singletary last draft. And that means it feels like James Cook time here. Let James cook. That's what I scream from the mountaintops. Why is everybody drafting Philly New Orleans teams? Like that one's in Philly. To be clear, guys, Philly fucking sucks in January for week 17. Just want to throw that out there in case you missed our weather report from whatever the previous solo stream was. But yeah, like I don't know. Like, that's one I don't mind it. Like I don't take any week 17 correlations. I think that's still better than not, but it's gonna be cold. It's gonna be cold. Carlos say, just realize you've been drafting what seems to be a team of some sort. I've been here for the comedy. Thank you, Carlos. Yeah, that's the thing people don't realize. They come here, they see me yelling about things, they see me talking about NFL players and how they might perform oral sex and their significant others, and instead they find out that, oh look, this guy's drafting team, and he didn't even take CEH this time. Poor Josh Frick did. I bet Josh is saying frick to that. Frick you, CEH, is what he'll be saying come week 14. Carlos has been a YouTube guy that I recognize the name of, because like there aren't a lot of, frankly, I feel like Latino representation in the DFS and fantasy communities a little low. As somebody that is a small bit Puerto Rican, I do notice it. But Carlos has been in chats like since I've been doing Osmo streams, so I know Carlos's name well. I would never have a burner either. Like I earn whatever negativity and positivity I get, and I'd also just don't have the bandwidth or the energy to do that for anybody. Back in the day, yeah. The guy would troll friends by like making like fake. There was one of the best pranks I ever pulled was like on I think it was on April Fool's Day. Oh, this is not a prank you could do anymore. But I did set up a fake Craigslist dating profile on the Men for Men page and then forwarded it to an email. So he was getting submissions of people like trying to hook up with him who are not aligned with his interest level. And that went on for a day. But now I don't even know how to set up mail forwarding. I'm just a fucking boomer. All right, we got to take another receiver here because everything is going stupid. Everything's going cuckoo cry. Jamison Crowder. Just gave me a taste of Cincinnati Buffalo, I guess. Oh, thank you, Jonathan. Comes for the strategy, stays for the humor. That's all I can ask. That's all I can ask. A little bit of both. We try to do both. It's hard to do both, but try to do both. Puerto Rican, so you got Italian, Puerto Rican. I'm actually a mix of a lot of things. I'm Italian, French, English, Greek, Puerto Rican. My dad is adopted too, so I actually don't know the full spectrum of everything. Pet theory is that I'm also part Filipino because once when I was in fourth grade, we went to a children's clothing store and ran into this Filipino kid that looked exactly like me. So since then, I've been like, oh, I would check out too. But I don't really like. I don't want to know. Like I don't want to. Like we're probably gonna know because like Alex has gotten her ancestry thing. Actually took one that I got as a gift, and I was like, I don't want them having my DNA and cloning me and torturing me. Because that's how I'd like to think. Just think it 2 steps ahead. 40 chests for giving people your DNA. And Alex did her test, so like she's gonna have Luca do his test, and then by proxy, we'll probably know, like what I am. But I don't like. I like a little mystery. Keep it spicy. Filipino spicy. Mm. Puerto Rican food is usually not spicy, so that's actually weird now that I think about it. Like, why is every other Latino food spicy, but Puerto Rican food's like, no, let's keep this. Let's focus on stewed beef. Let's. We've been shitting a lot here in Puerto Rico. We can't add spices here. Just stew it up. All right. We got some RBs on the board. We got some mediocre receivers as well. I really don't like any part of any of this. I'm going to take Dameon Pierce just because I take an ungodly amount of Naheem Hines. And at some point, you got to take Dameon Pierce, right? Rookie. He fits the profile of a guy that could bubble up. The Rex Burkhead, I feel like it's going to fuck up everything because he got a decent contract from Houston. There's really no reason why you should. And then Marlon Mack, too, is there. Like, there's enough for Houston that I worry about Dameon Pierce, even though I think you should still take him around ADP. Oh, Bullock. Not very classy. No, my family, like, America's a melting pot of things. Bullock is from like the Midwest or some shit, so he just don't know. But like, I'm from New York. Like, like, there's a lot of people of different ethnicities who come to New York, including Italian people and Latino people and Irish people and Greek people. So that's how that would happen. But no, not a brothel. It's also not how cum works. In case you didn't know, you don't just put it in a pot and it fucking comes out. These kids don't know. They don't know about Zeke eating cereal. They don't know how cum works. Yeah, Bullock getting bonked, as he should. I can't believe Bullock just thinks you mix cum together. And it's like, oh, cool, this baby's... Oh, cool, I got Michael Jordan's cum and LeBron James's cum. Time to put it all together. Now we go, ooh. Oh, he's the best player ever. Unbelievable. I don't appreciate this. I'm not gonna read that. Yeah. I like saying jizz more because it's funnier. Like jizz, I think is a funnier word. Cum feels crass. Oh, I guess Matt Corral's got a significant other, huh? I'll look it up. I'll do it for you guys. Since we're talking about jizz. Instagram/Renee. Boy, if there's a girl who's got 2 E's on her name, where it should be a Y, you're in for something. Okay. She kind of looks like Sydney Sweeney. I'll pull it up after we make this pick because that's a responsible thing to do as a streamer when you're making cum jokes. Paul, come for the draft, stay for the inner workings of cum. Look, children need to know. Poor Ross turning back in. Say we're in need for a cum counter. I don't want that job profile on LinkedIn. We're back on the clock. I gotta draft a player. I'm gonna draft DJ Chark. I feel like I need receivers who catch footballs sometimes. It's as simple as that. And that's best ball drafting. I think I need a receiver that catches balls sometimes. All right, let's go to Rainy M. Oh, back on the screen. Oh, look at my big head. Oh. All right. What are you doing, Rainy? Her handle is like the rain, like the weather, Michaels. So this is gonna be fun. Oh, work. Oh boy. Oh, Rainy. Oh, Rainy. Matt Corral. I think we know what tags Matt Corral is searching on X videos or whatever site you want to say out loud. Jesus Christ. Well, honestly, that's actually a pretty tasteful stagecoach. I guess really Coachella is more. Oh yeah, you know what Guy Fieri? Actually, well, Guy Fieri's got his own rumors. Well, seems like it's gonna be raining. Nope. Just not even gonna finish that one. And back to the draft screen. It's a rainy come. Hallelujah. It's a rainy come. Hey, come. Hey, Matt Corral. Bonk, 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 bonk. And a Jesus fucking Christ specs. So that's really runs the gamut. You guys are killing it. You guys are, I appreciate each and every one of you giving me something amusing to work with here. Actually, she's the less hot version. I think she's like the corn-fed version. The Sydney Sweeney, to be clear. Mm. Just like, just like Mama used to make. I hope not. All right, we're back on the clock here. We could still use some fucking talent. Well, you know who I took last draft was Michael Pittman. So that means, how could Alec Pierce possibly go wrong? High upside, if nothing else. The correlations here are weak. I kind of gave up on correlations for this particular draft. They just weren't happening. Sometimes it's going to happen for you. I love week 17 correlations. Sometimes they just don't happen. Especially when fucking you're getting rained on. Yeah, help from fucking rainy. I need help making it poor. Oh, that was for some reason that was grosser than it felt like it had to be. The views have gone down since Come Talk, by the way. So we really weaned out the the chafe. Honestly, though, Come Town is one of my favorite podcasts, like comedy wise. Like I haven't listened to it in a couple of years because it kind of got weak during the pandemic. But look, if they've shown you can use the word "come" in content and somehow have a profitable career, I guess. So here's cheers to Come, I guess. Ah, no, no. When the sun shines, it shines together. You can stand under my umbrella. You can stand under my umbrella. Hey, hey. Oh. This is what you wanted. You showed up here on a Friday. You were asking for this content. I didn't force you here. Yeah, as it always does, Tyler. If you can't love me at my cum content, you can't have me at my best ball. Honestly, I'd be terrified. I'll do a randomizer if Pete asks. Like he's intimated that I'll get to do one at some point. At this point, though, I don't know that there's any upside for me because he's gonna give me some really mean tweets and things that I probably don't want to tweet. Why are there no wide receivers left? What happened there? You guys went crazy. You guys went cuckoo crazy. It's like I'm gonna do on some Wandale Robinson. The correlation with the previous draft is I had Wandale Robinson there too. now I have twice as much Wandale Robinson. As we all know, doubles good, triples would be best, but we're not getting triples of Wandale today. Triples is safe. No, nor should he. He knows what lies behind door number 1. It's like The Shining. You know how The Shining had the big hallway of blood thing? It's that. But you know what it's you know what the hallway has instead of blood, Kevin? It's cum. the gigantic hallway flowing through. And that's what happens after Russell Wilson dances on you. Sings Mr. President. Pete Carroll couldn't. Pete Carroll couldn't hang. Also, a hilarious amount of Kevins. Crushing the Kevin demographic. A Kevin for every season. That's my goal. Kevin Owens, good pro wrestler. Kevin Hart, most successful comedian in the world, I would say. We all live in a Kevin world. I just didn't realize it till right now. Kevin Minutes in Heaven. That's what I'd play when I was in grade school. All right, back on the clock here. We took Damian Pierce, so we can't take Marlon Mack. I do need a tight end. Oh yeah, Cameron Brate just sitting there. Okay, we got our Brady double stack. Worked out well. Worked out well for everybody. Person who comes to the stream wanting family-friendly fantasy football content. We've been hoodwinked, bamboozled, led astray, run amok, and flat out deceived. You stay for the first hour. If you want like the fun, like you want me not working blue, stay for the first hour, and then the second hour. Once we hit the 1 hour 100 mark, that's when things get a little randy out here. This is the adults only stream, and you could say whatever the hell you want. I was going to throw out, I think you should leave references all over the place because it makes me happy. Do any of these fucking running backs ever come in with a big old horse cock? I don't care if that brings anybody joy besides me. You guys. I don't even know what is Kevin Spacey. Kevin Spacey should first of all, he shouldn't come up in any conversation at this point, given what he's done and his legacy of abuse. That's the first thing I'll say. This is my serious streamer voice. Second part is I don't know what put you on that. Am I supposed to look up his Instagram mythology? Check out Kevin Spacey's Instagram. He's really good. His ass is so great now. He's had so much time to himself. He doesn't get any acting work anymore. He really turned himself into an Instagram thought. Thank you, GA. One again. The people who appreciate it, they know anything goes. You're making this the worst stream of my life. Can you imagine working at a fucking haunted house? Like, no, thank you. And not even a real haunted house. Like, not like one where you pop out and go boo, but like I have to go, yeah, boy, this couple here, they had a tough time, murdered each other. Ooh. Like, that's the worst kind of ghost story haunted house. I guess Rob Coakley's crushing it with his ghost show, so from Spike Week. So, yeah, maybe there's a logic there. Maybe there's something I'm missing. Just talking about ghosts. What are you boys doing in there? How much talk about ghosts? Deonta Foreman. You seem like a nice Tom Brady bring back. You know why? Because Christian McCaffrey's going to fuck up at some point. He's a fucking running back. And not only that, he's a firstie. It just feels like a thing I shouldn't be saying. Like, oh, these filthy fucking, this firstie running back. Are you kidding me? They move into our town. This is a no first running back town. Oh boy, Bullock, where are you going here? So this is why this is why the kids can't come on the adults only tour. Yep. Have you seen that highlight about Michael Crabtree sucking in those balls? I've not. Oh, there we go. That's okay. Mathology was saying Kevin Spacey because living in a Kevin world. That's true. That's Kevin Durant might have been a better one to go with if you're trying to prove a point, but sure. Kevin Spacey's have clearly exerted their will upon the world. No, we actually don't have jizz web. We have like a lot of like actual spider webs, and I hate it. Like this is why I hate the suburbs. Like we have a wasp nest outside. I had to spray foam on a wasp nest from a safe distance. We have cobwebs fucking popping up. I got to stomp out spiders. It's like spending half my time fighting off bugs, fighting off baby tears and bugs. Not even fighting off, not even fighting off cum. Back like the good old days where you'd fight off a Ghostbusters Slimer style cum. Just busted through your wall. We got one more pick here, though. All right, we got enough running backs, enough wide receivers, enough tight ends. Man, I gotta take just something here at running back, huh? I just gotta take like a player, right? I did take Dobbins pretty early, but Jamal Williams. Sorry, DeAndre Swift. It's a Jamal Williams town now. Everybody drafting the second round, not realizing that Jamal Williams is a true alpha back. Silly of them. Sorry, you fell into that haunted pit like Daryl Strawberry. Fucking, I guess it wasn't Daryl Strawberry. He was the one who kept showing up because he played Homer's position. Ken Griffey Jr. though. Sorry, you had giganticism of your head, DeAndre Swift, but it's Jamal Williams now. He's getting all the carries. Is Corbin Welsh here in this draft? Did I miss that? Or are we just saying Corbin Welsh here because we like fun voices as well? Oh, okay. Poor Corbin's not even here to defend himself. Jonathan saying betting on little backs getting hurt is a good strategy. Like I'm willing to bet on any back getting hurt, but especially smaller ones. Like that is like I think that's honestly not like the Brian Robinson thesis is that we saw poor fucking Antonio Gibson having to play through a broken shin. JD McKissick will get some pass game work, but like Gibson could get squeezed to just be playing between the 20s and not playing third downs, and it wouldn't shock me because Robinson is like a big dude who's built like I imagine Donatello would be from the Ninja Turtles. Like just all shell on Brian Robinson. Oh, Nick, DM me the video. All right, I'll check it out. All right, so there's our draft. I mean, I can do a quick little saucing, but I gotta go sauce up some ribs. So I also, if you guys don't care, then I don't care. You see how many drafts I'm doing? No first puppy up to 101 in Best Ball Mania, 109 in the initial iteration of the puppy, and here we go. My team, Russell Wilson, Tom Brady, J.K. Dobbins, Kenneth Walker, Ken Walker, James Cook, Damian Pierce, Deonta Foreman, no headshot crew, Jamal Williams, hedging again upon giganticism for DeAndre Swift, Mike Evans, Cortland Sutton, Deontay Johnson, Brandon Cooks at wide receiver, along with Jamison Crowder, DJ Chark, Alec Pierce, Wandale Robinson. Could have been better at receiver. I will admit that. Like if I'm not drafting running backs, I got to get better receivers. And when you take Travis Kelce, like I actually don't love taking Travis Kelce in the first round for this reason because the receiver quality does drop off. Had to happen though because of the Piss Boys room. Travis Kelce, Cameron Brate, tight end. Did get my double stack for Brady. Oh shit, I didn't get a double stack for Denver. Who cares? That's life. Sometimes you get a double stack, sometimes you don't. Jason wants me to sauce 12. I presume that's this one. Because I'm not pulling up the board. I should pull up the board. Right. No, this is the right order. Justin Fields, Zach Wilson, Davis Mills. Nice to see you didn't draft a QB until like the fucking 12th round. You got to draft a higher QB than that. Draft a QB the 6th round, 7th round if you can. That's just something that's important to me. 5th round, I think also fine. Joe Mixon, Derrick Henry, Rashad White, Michael Carter, Chris Evans at running back. Don't take a handcuff running back. That is why Pete calls it a handcuff running back, and not because he's just a cyber bully, because it is in fact a bad move for your lineups. Gabe Davis, though, did get some correlation for week 17. Jerry Jeudy took my other Denver guy. Amon-Ra St. Brown, Elijah Moore, Traylon Burks, like all these guys, Marquez Valdes-Scantling, Tim Patrick, I think a little undervalued. Velus Jones, still a rookie, even though he is in fact my age. So, sure. Cole Kmet, Brevin Jordan. Look, I think if you're taking Justin Fields, I would take Mooney personally, but at least you got a double stack. You did some nice stuff here. I just like Mixon, Henry, handcucking at running back. That's the stuff that I would generally try to avoid. Morano asking to be sauced at the 10 hole. I'm going to put the chats on the screen here. Yeah, CFF Doom. Look, Jason, just watch more streams. Honestly, like if you thought this was like a sick draft or whatever, like just watch some more streams. I think you'll start to get why that's not the great move. But just wasting draft capital on two running backs from the same team, like that's something I did at when like my first best ball season, and I was like, oh, that's stupid. Everybody's telling me that's stupid. It's because you're making a bet. Basically, if you take Joe Mixon in the first round, you're taking a bet that he's going to be so good that he pays off that dividend. If you take Chris Evans, you're going to say, oh, he's going to be really good because Joe Mixon's going to fuck up. Chris Evans is going to get the pass game work, whatever the case may be. Like that's why you don't do that. You're making a bet that you're right with each individual pick. Who was it? Morano wanted it from the 10 hole. 12, 11, 10. Wait, no. You're not Kevin Hood. You're Darth Oblivion. Oh, that's a fun name. Trey Lance, Mac Jones, interesting QB pairing. Mac Jones, a little thin for QB2, but Trey Lance could be good enough to justify it. Najee Harris, Miles Sanders, the Pennsylvania connection at running back, Ramondre Stevenson, Ronald Jones, Kenneth Gainwell. You took two Philly running backs. Don't do that. What are you... Don't take two running backs from the same team. What am I looking at this team here? Come on. Deebo Samuel, Michael Pittman, Chris Godwin, Kadarius Toney. Like these guys, I think it starts to get a little thin overall, but Toney at your wide receiver 4 feels pretty nice. So I don't mind that. You got an elite tight end with George Kittle. Take Noah Fant. If you're going to take Noah Fant, take one of the other Seattle receivers. Take Drew Lock. Have some fun with it. But just don't take two running backs from the same team, man. That's rule number 1. FF Doom wants to roast. You'll be the last one, FF Doom, because I appreciate you always being in here. Honestly, all the regulars who did the draft, thank you for doing it. We got FF Doom's team. He's got Justin Herbert, Kirk Cousins. Interesting usage of capital there. I don't like taking Herbert just because of where he's going. I think taking a QB in the 5th round or 6th round is going to be a little more beneficial, but you got him at a little bit of an ADP, a slight bit of an ADP discount, and then you didn't spend capital too much later, so that does make sense. AJ Dillon, 6-0 RB start. Love AJ Dillon as the anchor running back. Getting Singletary too, great. Like, this is how you do 0 RB. Like the way I do it, a lot of whimsy to my 0 RB builds. I do think FF Doom did it really nicely here if you're looking for an example. Justin Jefferson, AJ Brown, Keenan Allen at receiver, along with Bateman. Got some upside with Olave, Jameson Williams, and Bell at rookies as well. Isaiah McKenzie, you could get steamed up ADP-wise. FF Doom has a really nice draft here. This is one that I wish I had. I think the position gave me less great wide receiver choices, as well as people just going heavy on receiver early on. But if you're going to do this, I think this is the way to do it. Did reach for AJ Brown a little bit, but whatever. I'm not going to default that. And then no elite tight end, but Dalton Schultz is about as good as you can get without being elite. So, yeah, for me, I think FF Doom's team probably looks like some that I have, especially those first 4 guys, though I am more of a Mike Williams over Keenan Allen guy. Overall, though, good build. And I like the Jefferson AJ Dillon correlation for week 17. I think is very fun. And that's one I have a lot of. So this isn't saucing as jerk. Yeah. Look, sometimes you get a sauce that's a jerk, like a jerk chicken. Think about that, Bullock. Think about that. All right, guys. So let me go back to the solo screen. First of all, thank you for all of you for hanging out. It seems like the views are going up. No more drafts coming, though, for me today, guys. But if you missed the stream, make sure to watch it back. Of course, I won't begrudge you if you watch the stream on Saturday or Sunday. So if you're watching after the fact, didn't catch it live, try to catch it live. Fridays at 2:30. But also watch it after the fact. If you missed some parts, watch it Saturday or Sunday. Put it on in the background while you're, I guess maybe not while you're taking care of the kids, but have some fun with this stream because I need the views. I need the support. I need subscribers. I need likes on this Splash Play channel. Of course, follow me at Chris Spags, follow at Splash Play Pod, and follow up Peter Overzet because Pete and I will be back on Monday at 2:30, bringing the duo back one more time. Thank you all for hanging out, and I hope you guys have a great weekend. And I hope my ribs did not burn. See you guys soon. Bye.